when you're looking to kind of right the ship, if you will, and play a real good Elgin team. So the Boomers should be ready to play, I would guess.
Yeah, I think the off week kind of came at a perfect time, especially, the Boomers come back dealing some early season injuries. Still got some guys out, but, it allowed them to kind of look at what they did well in the first 3 games, what they struggled with, and, really give them an extra week to game plan against this very good Elgin team.
Ely, you ready for a sideline night with the Boomers tonight? Are you excited?
Yeah, I am. I mean, it's beautiful weather out here. You got the jerseys to celebrate and the big flag out here. So I'm excited for this game. I'm excited to see everything that Woodward and the Boomers are doing this week.
Guys, have a good broadcast. Tyler, Eric, and Ely. We'll step aside, take a quick break. We're going to rejoin you here, hopefully just after 6:30, 6:35 or so, for military appreciation ceremonies. But let us step aside. We'll take a break and let you get on with your pregame on a football Friday night.
We're still having fun, and you're still the one.
Since 2011, Blue Sage Services has been your premier civil construction, dirt work, and specialty services provider, with the right equipment, the right experience, and the right attitude to build any project. Blue Sage Services is proud to be a part of the local Beaver County community, supporting select FFA, athletic, and community events. Contact us today to talk about what projects you need built, or learn more at bluesageservices.com, or call us at 580-625-6100.
Wilson Secure Arlo Wireless Outdoor Camera, available at Pioneer. Arlo offers top-notch protection with crystal clear video quality, rain or shine. Monitor your home from anywhere with remote smartphone access, whether you're at home or on the go. Arlo keeps you connected to what matters most. Trust Arlo and Pioneer to keep your home safe and secure. Visit GoPioneer.com to get your Arlo wireless cameras today.
This is Woodward Boomer Football on News Talk Sports Z92, the home of the Woodward Boomers. Woodward Boomer Football is brought to you by Pioneer Broadband, High Plains Tire, Bank of Western Oklahoma, State Farm Agent Dwayne Matthews, Compass Athletics, Western Drug, Great Plains Bank, R5 Custom Embroidery, M&D Enterprises and the Lawnmower Shop, The Bearded Barber, Sealing State Bank, and Smith & Company Auction and Realty. Here with the call of tonight's game is Tyler Riggs and Eric Scott.
Hello and welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining us at Boomers Stadium tonight. It is Military Appreciation Night, Eric. Always a special night at Boomers Stadium. We got the camo jerseys out. We got the big American flags up. And should be a really fun one. Boomers coming off that bye week and welcoming the Elgin Owls into town, a team that is highly talented.
Yeah, this is arguably the best team we're going to see all year. But we've talked about how tough this district is, so you never know what you're going to see. As each team gets better throughout the season, and watching these guys against some of the other guys in the district, it's going to be kind of an exciting season within the district. But good test for the Boomers to really kind of judge where they're at after the first 3 games and a week off to be able to fix a few things.
For sure. And, you look at some of this talent that's on this Elgin team. I mean, it's weird we start with the offensive line, Eric, but that's where you start. They've got 2 Division I players on the offensive line. Jace Williams, left guard. He was the 5A heavyweight champ last year. Elgin as a team won wrestling state championship in 5A. And then you call him a move-in. I guess he got relocated, if you will, from out of state, out of North Carolina. But Antonio Ogamoro, just what a fantastic player he is, a left tackle, 6'5", 312, Tennessee commit, and he looks the part and plays the part, Eric.
Yeah, he does. And that's a thing that I'm interested to see, like how, because we've talked about the Boomer defense and how quick they can be to the ball and getting to the ball on the field stuff. And so I'm interested to see, like, can we counter some of that strength that Elgin has up front with those with really those 2 big guys. But it's not just those 2 guys. I mean, they are just, in general, a big offensive line, one of the biggest we'll see all year.
Yeah, and really well-rounded. They got a couple of sophomores in the middle of that line, but they were stout as well. And Jackson Deal and Hudson Begley, just two guys that you could tell are playing a little bit beyond their years, if you will. And then Shea Spencer, their right tackle, very solid as well. All 6 foot, all plus 240 pounds. So, and then you go beyond that, their skills guys, their quarterback, well-rounded on the offensive side. Same applies to that defense. It is a complete team. They roll into the game 3-0 on the season. Got a win over Lawton Mac 28-7, Dallas Hillcrest 58-0, and Newcastle last week 56-14. These teams actually been up before 2010 through 2015 6 times when they were in district together, and Woodward actually leads the series 4-2. Elgin, however, did win the last meeting 30-21, and this is an Elgin program, and we'll hear from Coach Wyatt tonight. But Chalmer Wyatt, the head coach, has really kind of built this squad up over his time. They started when he started with them when they were in that middle of that 4A run, and we're kind of middle of the road. At times they'd have some good talent, but it wasn't a complete team, and we'll hear his thoughts later. But the long and short is that he's basically been able to really build them up. We're actually going to carry the Military Appreciation Night coverage here in the pregame right now, so let's turn it over to Mr. Troy Hartley.
Recognize and honor a new Woodward High School teacher for her service in the United States Army, as well as 2 Woodward High School students that have enlisted in our military services. We truly do appreciate their service, as well as the service of all of our active duty military service members and veterans here tonight. If you are currently serving in a U.S. military service, or you are a veteran of our United States military services, please stand up. Let's give them a huge round of applause to all of our veterans here tonight. Our honoree is on the field, and I will introduce and share with you a little bit about each of our honorees. The Woodward High School Student Council is presenting a veteran honoree with a plaque thanking them for their service to our country. Please welcome tonight's Military Appreciation Night veteran honoree, Alicia Williams-Reed. She is accompanied by her husband, Chris Reed. And this is what Mrs. Williams-Reed expressed about her service in the U.S. Army. I am a 23-year veteran of the United States Army. My reasons for joining were different from most others. I joined the United States Army shortly after graduating college with a degree in education in hopes of traveling and earning college money for my master's degree. My intentions were to serve for one tour and be done. In those years, I served our great nation as a logistics specialist, an instructor for non-commissioned officers, a retention and recruiter sergeant, an area leader for the State of Oklahoma Retention and Recruiting Command, and many other extra duties. My favorite job was recruiting and retention. I loved to introduce soldiers to their military and assist them when it was time to re-enlist. It was a very fulfilling job that I was able to do for over 10 years. While in the military, I saw and did things most people would not. I obtained the rank of Sergeant First Class. I learned resilience, trust, courage, determination, and honor. Throughout these lessons, I made lifelong friends and forever battle buddies. I am so thankful, proud, and honored that I could serve our great country for as long as possible. I am thoroughly enjoying retirement from the service and now teaching at Woodward High School. Go Boomers! Ladies and gentlemen, veteran honoree Alicia Williams-Reed. Alicia Williams, your military service to our country is greatly appreciated, and we thank you.
And there we go. There's our veteran honoree, Alicia Williams-Reed, teacher at Woodward Public Schools. So always neat, Eric, to be able to have this night and honor our vets.
Yeah, it's always great to honor our vets, and it's kind of especially special that we get to honor one of our own here at Woodward. They're also recognizing a student who's also committed to the services right now. But it's just great to be able to recognize our own, but also they did the kind of the traditional, if you served, please stand, and which is great for the our Elgin crowd, because we know that we have there's active members.
Oh, absolutely.
Who have family members who are a part of this Elgin football team, and so it's just getting to do stuff like this is just so special. I remember the first Friday night after September 11th out here at Boomer Stadium, the first game we had back. Just how special it was. So every time I see flags, whether we've got two big flags right now, Classic Bowl, just kind of brings back that memory of just kind of that pride in our nation.
Absolutely. Well, with that, let's step aside for our first break, and on the other side, we'll hear from Elgin head coach Chalmer Wyatt, his thoughts on his Owl squad coming into Boomer Stadium tonight. You're listening on Z92 and Boomer TV.
Every family has a story filled with chapters of love, laughter, and dreams for the future. But what if one day you're not there to help write the next chapter? Life is unpredictable, but your love for your family shouldn't be. With State Farm Life Insurance, Gwayne Matthews and Woodward can help ensure your story continues, even when you're not there to turn the page. Protect the chapters yet to come. Talk to Gwayne Matthews, because your story deserves to be told.
Happy to be joined now by Elgin Owls head coach Chalmer Wyatt. Coach, good to have you on, man. Your team, you graduated a lot of talent last year. MVP, or district of the MVP, I should say, Matthew Lund, top offensive lineman Keith Ferguson, along with a few other guys that were big-time talents for you. But this season, you have been dominant to start, for lack of a better terms, rolling against Lod Mac, Dallas Hillcrest, Newcastle this past week. Talk about your squad. Some of those guys that have, really been able to step up, continue what you were doing last year with that big run you had. Obviously got some quality offensive linemen to help with that.
Yeah, first and foremost, we got to play, 12 football games last year, and I think that was really beneficial for the guys that were coming back and guys that, had to fill some of those roles of graduation that you talked about. We're off to a good start, and I think a lot of that's due to our play on our offense and defensive line. And our featured back this year, Ritson Meyer, has had a really, really solid 3 games. I think he's got 10 touchdowns so far. And he got a lot of carries last year, but he stepped into that lead back role for us this year and has done a great job. Our quarterback's off to a good start. He's a 4-year starter, and he's throwing the ball really well, which makes our offense add another dimension to it. And he's really improved and had a really good 3 games. Just talking offensively here, offensive line, Ant's been doing a really good job, fitting in with us and learning all of our offensive line play. Jace Williams is a 4-year starter in the offensive line. He's done a great job. Jackson Gill is a sophomore that won the center spot that's selling right now. Hudson Bagley started as a freshman, and he takes over that right guard role from last year. And then we've got Shea Spencer, who's had a really good season so far on the defensive line and at right tackle. He's really good on the edge on both sides. And Brody Morrison's back at receiver after a good season last year. So offensively, we feel like we're in a good spot with some guys. Defensively, we bring back 7, but we lost both of our outside linebackers last year, and we've got guys that have really stepped up and become playmakers for us. That was kind of a question mark for us. Braxton Antuna and Philip Peaveshy have done a great job. And some of those guys that I talked about on the offensive line, Jace and Shea, they're going to be 3-year starters on the defensive line. And our 2 inside linebackers are really good. We're kind of led defensively by Colin Donnelly, a middle linebacker. He's a 4-year starter. And Ritson will jump in next to him at will, along with his little brother Kaysen at times. And Kaysen does a great job on offense. We bring back 3 in the secondary, which is big for what we do. Brody Morrison, Hunter Jackson's a 3-year starter, senior at safety. Josh Adesola, same thing at corner. And then Bryce Martin won the other spot, has been doing a great job, number 24. So, we had some question marks coming in, but we were really pleased with the guys that took over some of those roles for us, and are happy to see where we're at right now in the season.
And something I want to touch on with Coach, you've been around this program for a minute now. You've been in 4A, right? And you had that little kind of 2-year 4A and 5A the last couple of years. Seems like something really started to click over the last couple of years. Not that you didn't have talented players early in your tenure, but it seems when you guys are graduating, top talent, the guys that step up and turn are, sometimes just as good, if not better. And you're able to really seem like you have that cultural rollover right now. What do you credit that to? Something that seemingly has been building for you guys.
Yeah, I think it's. I think a big part of it is our staff. We pride ourselves in developing our kids from 7th grade up, and I think that we're reaping those benefits now, especially graduation. The guys that have stepped in, have been a part of our program for probably 5 or more years, and they've been, the same verbiage, same techniques. Our coaches do a great job of getting these guys ready as freshmen to sophomores, and whenever their time comes, I think that they do a good job of plugging in, and coaches do a great job, but we've got some outstanding players in our program, and that certainly makes things easier. But I think that's the main thing, is kind of just staying true to our vision and believing in developing the next guys on Monday nights when those guys play, and even Tuesday nights when our 7th and 8th graders are playing. So it took time for sure, and we took our lumps along the way, but I think that's probably the main cog that has led us to being off to a successful start so far this year.
And, you look at the scoreboard, you say, well, what can you really improve on in wins that you guys had rolling like you had? But what are some of the things that maybe you've seen through the first 3 weeks that you feel like going into district play you needed to shore up as a team and as a staff with your squad to, try to be the best contender you can be here for you?
Yeah, I think, offensively we want to, keep developing our offense. Offense is, at times can be the last thing that kind of comes around. But, our base offense, I've really liked what we've been doing, and we're going to continue to wrinkle and add stuff as we go. And when you do that, you got to be sound in your coaching Monday through Thursday on installing these things and making sure players know the schemes and what we're doing. And, and offensively, I think we did a good job against Newcastle throwing the ball. And that's something that, we're going to need to be able to do both as we go throughout the season. So just keep taking strides there, offensively, defensively. We want to find out what we can do, matching different formations and stuff. And, people may be in different spacing on the field and with different roles, but we've got to be able to adjust and make plays, and we got to continue to be we got to continue to grow our tackling and getting off blocks. And I think that you can continue to work on those things defensively all year long. And that's our main goal, is to continue to grow these things so we're playing our best ball at the end of the year.
Yeah, you mentioned some of that great talent you've got up front, whether it be on the offensive, defensive side. Those guys really seem to enjoy being physical, getting after it, setting that tone up front. So how much of a help is that, when you're trying to, as you mentioned, to continue to improve your offensive game, whether that's through the air, on the ground, defensively, being able to complete some of those big plays. But when you got a nasty group up front, how does that make it easier as a coach?
Absolutely. Our defense coordinator, Jack Baker, does a great job instilling those things in our kids from a young age. We want to be physical, and we want to fly around, and we want to get 7 to 11 hats on the football. And it's a mentality that our kids buy into, and it's something that, Jack, it's believable when he says it, and for those kids to go and do it, that makes things easier. And we've got mentality of kids. I think 7 of our 11 starters. No, let's see, 8 of our 11 on defense all are on the wrestling team, which were state champs last year. And I think that plays a big hand in our mentality defensively for sure.
And with that, we thank Coach Wyatt for a look into his Elgin squad as we roll along on the Boomer pregame show on Z92.
And back at Boomer Field as we get ever closer to the start of this game between the Boomers and the Elgin Owls. And I heard some thoughts there from Coach Wyatt about squad, and Eric, again, just well-rounded group. We kind of said on film it seemed like they could do it all. Fast run, they can defend. So going to be one of those that if you're the Boomers, you got to execute on all facets. This isn't the only district game getting away going tonight, though. In for a 1, every team in action. Cash is at Elk City tonight. Cash 0-3, Elk City 1-2 on the young season. Douglas is at Bridge Creek. That's about a 1-2 versus 0-3. And then Clinton Weatherford, the Custer County Conflict tonight to begin district play for those two. So we'll keep our eyes on those as we go throughout the broadcast course. And if you're curious about the Tri-State, as always, definitely check out K101, CJ Montgomery, and the entire Quick Scores crew taking you all around the area. I know we played Dodge City, of course, in week 2. They're their own backyard battle for the bell against Liberal tonight, so that ought to be a fantastic matchup. So interesting to see that. And we get to the starting lineups tonight for the Boomers. Your State Farm agent Wayne Matthews starting lineup. Talk with Wayne Matthews about creating a personal price plan to help you save money, protect yourself and your loved ones. Visit them 1400 9th Street in Woodward. Wayne Matthews, State Farm agent, our starting lineup sponsor. And Eric, the big news, I guess you could say, from last week is on the offensive line for us. Drake Roberts, Zane Flores, our right side, out tonight. So we'll see who's able to step up in the stead of that. That'll be a big question mark, especially with this really good defensive line for Elgin. Still got Corbin Zamarco in there, John Ortega, Adrian Cruz on your left tackle, your center, your left guard. Ryan Douglas Fisher will continue at quarterback. Man, he's slung it pretty well last week in that second half, or 2 weeks ago in that second half.
Yeah, I think you touched on it perfect at Alva. Then you mentioned it during the coaches show, but just his maturity from whenever he was QB1, to start last season to when he came back, kind of took over the role again this season to and just a lot more confident. Coach talked about kind of saying, hey, stay in the pocket a little bit longer, don't worry about getting out so quick.
Yeah.
And what that kind of does. So hopefully he saw those things on film list over the last 2 weeks, and can continue to build on that success.
One of the young sophomore, Colt Moore, had a fantastic second half as well. Busted that big 80-yard play. Was our Bank of Western Oklahoma player of the game with his skills at receivers. Mason Bourne, of course. We'll see Jay Graft in the mix. Note on him, if you're watching on Boomer TV tonight, he's number 21 instead of 5 tonight. That's just the Belltair appreciation jerseys. Didn't quite have the correct numbers on some of those, like to correlate. Not that they didn't try, but that happens every once in a while. That's the big one we know of. Also, Brody Providence, usually 8. He should be 17 tonight. So that's the 2 that we know over there. If there's another one and we don't catch it,
we will figure it out.
We will do our best to figure it out for you. And if we can't, we apologize. Just one of those deals. Sometimes those numbers, when you switch jerseys like that, it happens. So otherwise, the Boomer starting lineup, pretty much the same from a couple weeks ago. You're still going to see all your usual cast defensively. And Eric, as we get to the keys of this game, and we'll bring Ely on this in a second, is just, it's a really talented team. You've gotten at home, though. The goal tonight probably just, hey, how competitive can we be? Is that in your mind what you're thinking here?
Yeah, I think that's absolutely how you got to go into this. Obviously, every coach, every kid, should go into a game saying, hey, we're going to shock the world.
Right.
We are going to be the biggest story in the state tonight. But you also got to look at reality. As coaches do, media, parents, fans, we look at reality, and this is going to be an incredibly tough game. So if the Boomers can just work on what they need to work at. We know this is going to be a playoff team. You're not playing spoiler to Elgin. They're going to be in the playoffs. If we're trying to work to the playoffs, we got to do what we can to build and get those other wins to get that third or fourth spot easy.
Definitely. And Ely, for you as a player in this situation in the past, you've been part of those games where you're the heavy favorite team. Sometimes, though, you're on the opposite side of that. So in those situations, what do you try to do as a player to, tackle that from the mental standpoint? What's been a coach's message to you in those instances?
Yeah.
Got a turn.
Really think about pregame is you're tied right now. The score is 0-0. You don't want to come into this game thinking, let's not lose by a bunch. You come in with that mindset you want to win. You always want to win. So I just think you don't come into this game defeated already. There's one on the field, and they need to show that they want to win and they think they can win.
And that's an interesting point, Eric, and one that's a fair one to say, hey, 0-0 on the scoreboard, you take it out of play time and see what goes from there, right?
Yeah, and that's kind of what what I was kind of talking about. If you are playing your game, you do everything you can to execute what the coaches tell you to execute. You're going to try to give yourself a chance to win, and you got to go in with that mindset of we're 0-3, but that 0-3 doesn't matter now.
Right.
The real season starts now.
Yep.
So go out there. You still got to hit them as hard as you try to hit everybody else. You still got to try to move the ball as well as you do against everybody else. So just do your jobs, and everything else will work out in the wash.
Definitely so. We're getting ready for the coin toss for the Boomers. The captains, as they've been throughout the season, Luke Parkhurst, Brian Douglas Fisher, Casey Bourne, and Cooper Littall, the seniors for the Boomers, wearing those military appreciation jerseys, camo throughout with the white text, and then on the shoulders, the American flag. Pretty neat. Got the black pants and the black helmet for the Boomers tonight. Elgin in their road white jerseys with black pants, red numbers and ticks, red helmets with white texture as well in terms of the logo and the striping. Sealing State Bank now with the branch in Woodward. Go check them out. Their new location, 2314 Williams Avenue. Sealing State Bank Woodward branch offers full-service banking, including personal checking, savings, home and commercial loans, mobile and online banking, wire transfers, and much more. Sealing State Bank of Woodward, power Boomer Sports all season long. So, guys, had the bye week, ready to get it going again. And just, what a perfect night for some football. We finally got past the heat, it seems like. About 80 right now at the kickoff is what we'll have. It'll only cool to about 71 by the end of this thing. That's where you want to be in terms of football, really.
Yeah, but it's not miserable out there. You don't have a crazy wind. It's just a nice fall Friday night. And this is exactly what you want at this point in the season. I personally would rather be a little bit cooler.
See, you're like me. I like the cooler weather.
Yeah, there's nothing better than football whenever it's about 60 degrees outside. You can still wear shorts, but you've got a hoodie on, but that's just me perfect. But Ely's down there shaking his head because he knows he's the one down that's going to be cold whenever it starts getting cold. So,
Ely, you be freezing down there?
Oh. You guys are happy it's, feels like this, and I am too, but I'm thinking about a month down the road when it's about 40, and I got to come down here, and you guys get to stay in the booth and stay warm. But no, you guys are right. This is perfect football weather.
I can play by play game.
Sun's not beating down on us. There's a little breeze. It's about 70 degrees, so I like it right now, but it scares me for the future.
Well, that's if anybody knows about the Woodward press box. It's actually more comfortable down there right now than it is up here right now. So,
Ely, we could trade. I'll play by play game from the sideline. That'd be a unique challenge.
Hey.
Lost. Anyways, oh man, as both teams getting ready to come out of their tunnels, the Boomers, of course, got your band lined up, and then got the crowd spaced throughout as far as some of the cheerleaders, some of the families and friends. Elgin actually brought their setup as well on the road. And I do want to note this too before we get to it. The Elgin band is here, and we kind of talked about this in Alva where the Boomer band performed at half due to the rules. If the team requests that, you got to allow it. Well, Elgin's doing that at half, so the Boomer band is not performing at halftime. They're performing after the game, correct, Eric, is what we heard?
Yeah, and I think it's very similar to what Woodward did up there in Alva, where we're in the middle of contest season. You know, they've got a very competitive band, very good band actually at Elgin. You know, and you know they need to get their steps in as well. So, you know, they're going to use that rule, take advantage of it, and really give us a good show, because everything I've heard about the Elgin band, I've been just looking at them across the field right now. They look good. They look clean. And so I'm excited to see them. But the Boomer Band has still got to do their job too. They've still got to prepare for marching, for their show, work on their show a little bit. So they're going to do that after the game. So.
Definitely so, and they're actually getting ready for contest Tuesday night. We talked with Daisy Crockett about that Wednesday this week. Next Tuesday they'll be at the Tri-State Festival in Enid, one of 15 bands competing there on the Boomers, so that'll be excited for them as they'll get their steps. And there come the Boomers. Got about, looks like 6-7 American flags leading the way for them as they pop out of the tunnel. So fellas, final keys for this game before we get to kickoff. If you're Woodward, what are you looking to do tonight? How do you try to compete with the Mighty Owls?
Yeah, I think for me, I just want to see how well this defense can do against the Elgin offensive line. We know that the defense is our bread and butter. You know, we've talked about that with Coach Gordon. We've talked about it on the broadcast, you know, numerous times. But the defense is our bread and butter. So just do what you got to do. You know, don't try to get too worked up. Don't worry about how big they are. You know, just keep it. Honestly, we've talked about assignment football multiple times with the offenses we played. You've got to do this with this Elgin team. They can throw the ball, they can run the ball, they can do a little bit of it all. So you've just got to play your role, you know, and do your job. And you know, I just hopefully, you know, they continue to keep their heads up and work hard.
Yeah, and I think something also to think about is we talked about they always start strong and kind of fall off towards the end, but I think with a team like this, you need to start strong. The start is the biggest thing because you don't want to get your head down against a big opponent like this. So I think the first half is the biggest thing in this game.
Definitely so. That's a good point. Want that fast start, build some of that confidence early if you're the Boomers, no question about it. As the Owls will receive to start the game. Not surprised, the Boomers, of course, will establish that defensive prowess, if you will.
Fine. Jake from State Farm again.
All right. It's the personal price plan theorem. If you bundle your home and auto, that can equal an affordable price just for you. Bundling. Just another way to save with the personal price plan. Like a good neighbor.
There's nothing like being from Western Oklahoma. It's family and community. It's spring storms and winter wheat. It's fall football and summer baseball. And there's one bank that really understands our area. Bank of Western Oklahoma. We've been locally owned from the beginning, and we still are. When you need a bank that understands your unique life, choose Bank of Western Oklahoma, the bank that works as hard as you do. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
The Boomers. Field very clean. Got the white W. Solid white W tonight. Sun sitting about beautiful. We got those two big American flags in position on a special military appreciation night. And the ball fell off the tee, so we got a great tee. Not too windy, it's only 10. All right, now we're ready as Douglas Fisher marks off his steps. He'll get the whistle, put the hand up, take the jog, and the foot into the football, and we're underway at Boomer Stadium. And on the return on that far side is Axtuna. The sophomore gets past the 20-yard line to about the 23 before the Boomers corral him and take him down. So starting field position for Elgin on their first drive, right around the 23-yard line. Looks like they may give him the 24 actually. So 24 is where he'll take it. We'll see quarterback Trace Laura lead this offense. The senior standing right about 6 foot. Running back Ritson Meyer, he'll be one to watch. On the outside, Brody Morrison, the junior receiver. The senior, Josh Adasola, the senior. And we'll see tight end Adam Eden as well get some touches in there for Elgin. As they take over at their own 24, 1st and 10. First offensive play of the game. As Laura immediately back to pass, looking for the quick out to Eaton. Gets it at the 30, up to the 35, and he's taken down by Brody Province just before the 40-yard line. And Elgin with the quick out to start things.
You know, we know that's something that, you know, Elgin's going to do. Like I said, they'll run it, they'll pass it. You just got to be prepared and, you know, do your job and try to keep them in front of you.
And they gave Eden the 40, so 1st and 10 for Elgin at their own 40-yard line. And the pistol is Laura. 2 receivers to right, 1 to the left, back to pass again. Another quick out. This one's selling over the head of his intended receiver. That was Kason Meyer, the sophomore, was going to have an opportunity right about the line of scrimmage, looking for that quick out. And that time, rare instance that Laura was off the mark. As we go 2nd and 10.
Yeah, that's going to have to wait.
We're trying to get fancy with the stats, so Eric's trying. But we'll get to that at some point in the season, I promise.
It may be week 10, but we're going to get there.
2nd and 10 for Laura and the pistol. 2 receivers to right, 1 to left. Man, the backfield is Meyer, and he'll take it up the gut, get across the 40, dragging the pile to the 45. The Boomers on him and get him down just past the 45 at the 46, maybe the 47. So a hard run by Meyer. That's kind of what his MO is. Eric is just up the gut. He's going to lower that shoulder and force you to stop.
Yeah, that's a benefit the Owls have, is having those those big, strong guys up front. And it's going to open those holes. I'd like to see the Boomers get a little bit more aggressive. I understand what they're doing is they're kind of reading to see what they got to do, but you can't allow big runs.
3rd and 4 for the Owls. And again, they give it to Myers, trying to get to the outside. The Boomers get him. And that might have been Mason Arnold on the edge, being able to drag him down. What an open field tackle. And it is Mason Arnold.
I love seeing that, because that's one thing we have talked about, especially Dodge City and Alva, was poor tackling by the Boomers. And again, a lot of that came down to as we got tired late in the game. But still, if you can't get tackles like that, you're not going to. They give them more forward progress.
They give back to the line of scrimmage, but still it's a 4th down for Elgin. They'll have to punt this away. So the Boomers, we'll talk about it here in a second. Coach Gordon, said, hey, we were hitting in pads all week, trying to be physical. And so the punt away. Colin Donnelly, the linebacker, the punter for Elgin. Fair catch called for by the Boomers, and Cooper Littall, and now be hauled in just past the 25, about the 26. So for the Boomers, they get a Pioneer defensive stand to start the game. Pioneer unleash tomorrow's potential with Pioneer Fiber in it. Get speed and reliability. Surf Stream. Stay connected with Pioneer Fiber. Sponsor of the defensive stands all year long. And man, that's a good dose of defense that you want to see. And how can the offense get it done is the big question.
We got an offensive timeout, I think, for
equipment, maybe. Yep. Somebody for the Boomers looked like maybe Colt Moore has equipment issues, so he'll have to come off for a play.
Yeah, he's kind of got a wrap around his knee, and officials didn't like that, so they made him come off and take it off.
So Boomers take over 1st and 10 at their own 26-yard line. 10-14 remaining in the first quarter. Tied at 0. As Ryan Douglas Fisher in the gun, some motion on a clap. As they shift the receivers forward to the right side of the formation. Nobody on the left side. Does have a tight end to work with. Elgin thought a man jump. Quick pass by Douglas Fisher after Graff at the 30. He gets up to the 31. So a little tunnel screen essentially. Nets about 3, maybe 4 yards on 1st down.
Yeah, honestly, again, I've talked about multiple times, the 4, 5, 6 yard gains. Just try to do everything you can to get those when it matters. Then you'll be able to pop off some every once in a while. And the Boomers did a great job. They recognized that there was a blitz coming. He got the ball out quick to Graff and picked up 4 yards.
So again, a 2nd and 6 as Douglas Fisher in the gun again. 2 receivers to the left side, 1 to the right. Single man is Moore, and now another whistle and officials timeout. Not sure what the having a conversation with the Boomers sideline there.
Said false start.
False start is what we're hearing, so that is the case, correct there from Ely. So that's unfortunate. You do get the false start and back yourself up, kind of erase that early game.
Yeah, was it a false start, or is it maybe there's too many men on the line or something like that?
That might be, it might be the proper call.
But because they turned and started talking to the coaches almost immediately, so I think it might have been something else. But it's the same signal, which is kind of annoying for us up here, But
So second and 11 for the Boomers. 9:20 to go in the first quarter. Still scoreless. Boomers first drive. Douglas Fisher in the gun again. A quick fake on the handoff and a zip over the middle. Caught at about the 35-yard line. It looked like Jay Graff able to drag that one in. And he gets to 34, and the Boomers go quick. So you get 7, make it a 3rd and 4 for the Boomers.
That's 2 straight balls on target by Ryan in the pocket too. He didn't move. He just stood back there. He threw it. You like to see that confidence continue to grow.
We call it 8-yard gain officially. 3rd and 3. Douglas Fisher in the gun. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Man in the backfield, Latal with him. Also a tight end on the right side. And a whistle before the snap. This might be a false start again, or a too many men on the line.
I think that one is a false start.
That's what it
looked like as he kind of gave that little extra clap, and one of our guys just kind of jerked just a tad.
So you've had a couple good plays to start, guys, but those 2 penalties, that puts you in a spot where all of a sudden you're 3rd and 8. See how the Boomers approach.
If you're Ryan, you've thrown 2 good balls. We've got guys in the right spots. 8 yards. Yeah, it's a longer play you need to pull off here, but you don't need anything special. Just go out there and get past the sticks.
So Douglas Fisher in the gun, empty set, 2 receivers each side, back to pass. Here comes the pressure. He's looking to the far side, or the near sideline, I should say, to us, and a miscommunication as that sails out of the bounds harmlessly. Intended for Colt Moore. It looked like Moore thought he was cutting to the middle. Ryan thought he was staying on the sideline. Not the case. Incomplete.
Yeah, that was Colt. Quickly turned his head around like, wait, where was that ball at? He didn't even see where it went, and like I said, it was just a miscommunication. That's going to happen. You just got to clean those up.
So 4th and 8 for the Boomers. 8:19 remaining in the first quarter. They are forced to punt.
This isn't Ryan.
No, it is Jay Graff, it looks like, to punt, and he gets off a solid one. Bit of a line drive, fumbled initially by the returner, and the Boomers straight up on him as well. As for Elgin, that was Brody Morris. Kind of filled that line drive, and a penalty flag comes in late. Couldn't see who the tackle was for the Boomers, but right on him. See where this penalty goes. Good job by Morris to be able to pick that right back up after it kind of bounced out of his hands.
I think that may have been one of those situations where it's like, hey, let's get Ryan downfield as quick as possible. He's one of the fastest guys on the team.
And it is on the Boomers. A personal foul on the dead ball. Didn't quite see what happened there, but I will call it. So that's going to give Elgin a lot better field position.
Ely, were you able to see that?
Yeah, it's on Ryan Douglas Fisher after the play.
Okay. So he must have been on the coverage team. So that'll cost the Boomers some yards in terms of giving it up to Elgin. So they will start this drive at the 49-yard line, their own 49, with 8:10 remaining in the first quarter. Still scoreless, however, as Elgin begins their second drive. It was a 3-and-out, got a 16-yard pass to start, then it was 3-and-out after that. As it will be Laura in the gun, a handoff to Meyer, though, as he gets a hold, bounces it to the outside, finds some space, stiff arm on him at the 40, and then goes out of bounds with an extra shove as well. Not before he gets into Boomer territory across the 35 to about the 34, maybe 33. That was an explosive run.
Yeah, and, over there on the sideline, he laid a hit. I'm trying to figure out who that Boomer was that was on the receiving end of that. Can't quite tell who that is over there. Maybe it was Mason Arnold, but you know, he put his shoulder down into the defender and knocked him back a couple yards.
So 1st and 10 for Elgin at the Boomer 34. Another handoff to Meyer, this time to the left side formation. Flag comes out early as Meyer bowling through a couple Boomer defenders. Gets to the 20-yard line before they take him down. Boomer's in spots, but Meyer really strong out of the backfield right now. This flag, though, came out early. Probably a hold, man.
Yeah, it looks like it's probably in holding area.
And that's exactly what it is. So he raced the first down. Would have been a first down and a red zone opportunity for Elgin. Instead, back him up 10. And for Coach Wyatt, that's got to be frustrating because, you know, you're trying to execute. You went 3 and out almost on your first drive.
The one way he runs, though, is he doesn't too much too quick. He sees the field really well.
Different backfield now as a handoff Up the gut this time, it's going to be to Tuna. The sophomore was showing a bit of the speed as he gets up the gut, crossed the 25, and finally trucked down at about the 23-yard line. And that's kind of the danger of Elgin. A good little 1-2 punch. You got the junior Meyer, the bigger back Ritzenmeyer, and then Braxton and Tuna a little bit more of that speed, and he showed it there.
You're going to see a lot of the Boomer secondary and their linebackers make a lot of tackles tonight, I feel.
So 2 big runs for Elgin on this drive. They've got it 1st and 10 at the Boomer 23-yard line. 7:20 remaining in the first quarter, still scoreless. Jordan back to pass, looking to the post route for the tight end Eden, and he hauls it in inside the 10-yard line near the 5. A few Boomers in the area, but Adam Eden just ran that perfect corner route and a well-placed ball by Trace Laura, and Elgin's got 1st and goal.
Man, Eden just kind of hung out there. There was 3 Boomers right there, and they actually read it. They knew exactly what was going on, but because of where he hung out and that ball was placed perfectly, that was a huge gain for the Owls.
So 1st and goal for Elgin, 7 minutes to go in the first quarter from the Boomer 6. Well, we're in the pistol, 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Man, the backfield is Intuna. They fake the hand, or no, they go with Intuna on the handoff, and he gets in for the touchdown as he just wormed his way through and found some space in. So Elgin on the board with 6:49 to go in the first quarter as they get the first touchdown. 6-yard run from Braxton to Intuna.
That was, unfortunately, this defensive series for the Boomers is complete opposite of what the first one was. You know, but also Elgin was a lot more patient and let things develop, and you know the Boomers just got to figure out a way to counter that.
And Aiden Delgado, the kicker for Elgin, a bit of a miscue on the snap though, and they're not going to get it off. A mishold by Elgin. The quarterback Laura not able to collect it, so the extra point no good. Owls only lead 6-0.
Yeah, I was watching during pregame, and I think Ailey was down there watching too as well. But yeah, I saw multiple times where it looked like he had trouble getting the ball down, you know, after the snap on when they were working on field goals afterwards or during pregame. So, maybe that's something we can watch as we go into this game.
So look at your Jesswell Chevrolet scoreboard. Jesswell Chevrolet in Shattuck is where honesty is not just a word, it's how they drive every deal. Visit JesswellChevrolet.com or call them at 580-938-2122. Jesswell Chevrolet scoreboard, Elgin up 6-0 with 6:49 remaining in the first quarter after the failed extra point attempt. So, guys, we saw some positive things for the Boomers on that first drive. You got a couple of nice passes. You mentioned Ryan Douglas Fisher in rhythm. Now, can you continue that? Can you erase some of those penalties? Because you theoretically had enough yards to get that first down the first time.
Yeah, you can't let the frustration of that first series, you know, the penalties and the miscommunication and things like that. You can't let that get you down. You just got to come out and do your job and continue to work.
Delgado ready to kick off for Elgin as the Boomers back deep to receive. Colt Moore. Looks like Cooper Latal, left and right side, in the air. Bit of a shorter kick. Moore fields it just past the 10-yard line. Jumps it to the left side looking for a block. Finds a decent hole, gets almost to the 25-yard line before he's taken down. Probably mark him right at the 25, maybe the 24. Not a bad return for Moore. Patient and found a little room. As that's where the Boomers will take over. M&D Enterprises and Lawnmower Shop for your best lawn, porch, or patio. Visit M&D Enterprises. They are the lawnmower shop, your people, I should say. They carry everything you need to make your greenscape that little piece of heaven that you've always dreamed of. Locations, Woodward, Ken, and Weatherford. M&D Enterprises and Lawnmower Shop powering the Boomers all season long. So 1st and 10 for Woodward, 6:42 in the first quarter as they trail 6-0. End around for Jake Graff on the handoff by Douglas Fisher, and it's going nowhere. Elgin blows that up with the linebackers and the D-line all collapsing in.
Yeah, that's really that's kind of a tough play for the Boomers to run. Well, we know that the offensive line, you know, many times, you know, you kind of get they're unmatched. We have 3 guys from week 1 are no longer are injured,
right?
You know, and out right now. So, you know. One thing I like seeing is we haven't seen a lot from.
Oh, not sure what happened there.
Well, there's a first down.
Yeah, Elgin player that was Jace Williams, the big left guard. He's trying to claim that he saw a snap and the Boomers weren't even on the ball.
Yeah.
He just trucked over a guy. Chase is trying to argue that it was a false start, but again, I don't think the Boomers were even on the ball at that point. Instead, receivers not even lined up. Dead ball, and they will call it on Elgin, so you'll get some yards. Not personal foul.
Not personal foul,
but you'll at least get back the yards you lost on the end around, so it'll be 2nd and 10.
Well, what I was trying to say, though, is we haven't seen a lot as far as, things set up for Jake. And, here right away we're starting to see it. Those are the benefits of having that break right before district play and do some things they haven't seen on film yet.
So 2nd and 9 for the Boomers. Douglas Fisher back to pass, rolls to the left side, looking short to Colt Moore, and that one in the dirt, couldn't get to him, and a flag comes out towards the end of the play. Let's see what that is for the Boomers.
I think it's going to be a hold.
Might be, as Douglas Fisher was trying to escape the pressure.
Unfortunately, it looked like on the they had a blitz on the far side of the field right along the line, and to me it looked like he was across the line before the snap, but you got to do your job. You can't hold.
So Elgin accepts the penalty, goes from 2nd and 9 for the Boomers, or would have been 3rd and 9, I should say, to now 2nd and 19, as you're at your own 16-yard line. 5:50 to go in the first quarter. Boomers trail 6-0. Douglas Fisher in the gun. Empty set. Looking to pass once again. This time to Moore. The sideline. That one just a touch high as Moore can't quite pull it down. Was trying to go with about the 10-yard stop route, Eric, and just a bit high.
Yeah, that was all pressure. It was the pressure that caused Ryan to really have to rush that throw. Do everything he could to get it out quick. And again, we knew that was going to be something that was going to be an issue. The Boomer offensive line, has just got to do what they can just to slow down Elgin just a little bit to allow Ryan to have a little bit of time.
So 3rd and 19 for the Boomers. As Douglas Fisher in the gun, 2 receivers each side. Empty set for him. Back to pass yet again. Now flushed out, rolls to the right side. He's looking to run. Flag does come out. Douglas Fisher shakes one tackle, but then gets struck down by Donnelly, the linebacker, for a short gain. And it is a flag as well, so we'll see if Elgin even accepts this. It's another holding on the Boomers. They might decline it and bring up the 4th and long.
It's that Elgin defense is just as quick as as you would expect for a team that's kind of rated as high as they are. It looked like Ryan had all the green in the world, and he didn't even get back to the original line of scrimmage.
Right, still going to be 4th and about 14 for the Boomers. So 5-yard run by Douglas Fisher. That does bring up the punt. We mentioned Colin Donnelly, senior, 6'2", 215, very solid linebacker for him. And then flag comes out on the snap for the punt as Graff was ready to try to boot it away. That's a false start on Elgin. Okay, offsides. That's what. Offsides. So that will bring the Boomers closer. Not a first down, but it will help out a little bit maybe with the punt. As it'll be 4th and 9 now. So a litany of penalties early on for both teams.
I'm having PTSD from last week.
From Coldwater last week. And there's the punt by Graff. This one a bit off the side of the foot, away from the returner, and it goes out of bounds near the 40-yard line, and that's where Elgin will take over 1st and 10 in their own territory as they lead 6-0, 5:14 remaining in the first quarter. Smith & Co. Auction and Realty. It's Oklahoma's real estate and land auction experts. Smith & Co. is your #1 choice for all your land auctions and real estate needs. Call them 580-254-3975 or email Ira at smithcorealestate.com. Smith & Co. Auction and Realty, powering Boomer Sports all season long. As Elgin takes over 1st and 10 at their own 40. Pistol look again for Laura, and another handoff for Meyer up the gut. This time the Boomers contact him near the line of scrimmage and drag him down quick. A minimal gain, maybe a yard or 2 at that. Brody Providence, to see popped up from the pile, trying to see who got that initial contact here.
Reese Durkee was in there, and I couldn't quite tell whoever was on the end down there.
Maybe Trip Bates?
I think it may have been Trip. Was able to kind of reach in there just to slow him enough, and that allowed Reese and Brody to come in there and finish him off.
So 2-yard gain, 2nd and 8 for Elgin. Again, Laura in the pistol, and now I think a jump by the Boomers trying to get too excited. that is the case. The Boomers go offsides. So move Elgin up 5 yards. Now makes it 2nd and short.
Man, this is going to take forever. We may have a 10:30 game tonight.
Both teams antsy as we're seeing false starts and offsides for both. So 2nd and 3 for Elgin at their own 47. Laura, the quick pass out to the far side, caught up to the 30 and finally drug out of bounds, but it is a first down. And there's another flag. And on the catch for Elgin was Corday Ritchie, the sophomore. Will catch and run, had the first, gained about 5. I wonder here if this is maybe a face mask by the Boomers.
That's going to be a hold.
And they're backing up, so this might erase the game for Elgin.
I think what it was on that screen, the receiver, I couldn't quite tell who it was that was out there as the lead blocker. Whenever he got his guy, he kind of drove him back a little bit, but he had a hold of his jersey as he drove him back. So.
Not quite a full 10-yard penalty for Elgin as the hold occurred a little bit upfield. Still be 2nd and 9 for him now, so back to where we were before the offsides by the Boomers. So 2nd and 9 for Elgin. 4:24 remains in the first quarter. They lead 6-0. Laura in the pistol. 2 receivers left, 1 to the right. The handoff up the middle of Myers. Got a hole. Gets across the 50 down to the 45 and taken down by Mason Boring just before the 40-yard line. But, man, Meyer was untouched. We talked about that talented offensive line for Elgin. They're clearing some big holes.
Yeah, when you say untouched, nobody touched him until Mason wrapped him up for the tackle. And so that's one thing that both the defensive line and the linebackers got to figure out a way to, but they spread it out enough. That's one thing Elgin does is they spread it out enough. It forces those linebackers to be spread out.
1st and 10 for Elgin. Another handoff to Ritchie. This time the Boomers able to meet him on the backfield as it looked like Bowen Morton, the first contact, and a host of Boomers take him down for no gain. So Bowen able to fly off the block, get the initial stand-up, and do a good job on Myers there.
Bowen Morton, Kason Bourne was in there towards the end of the play. Kind of got it. There was a whole pile of Boomers, but it looked like Kason was on the 2nd level, so I'm going to give him the assist. But he was out wide in coverage, and as soon, in a man-to-man, and as soon as he recognized there was a handoff, he got back over there. So that kind of shows, the vision and awareness he has as a linebacker.
2nd and 10 for Elgin. 3:10 remaining first quarter as they lead 6-0. Laura in the pistol. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Meyer in the backfield. Looked like a false start. Or an offside, I can't tell what was going on.
I think it's going to be a false start. I was trying
that was kind of
flag up there.
And yeah, they're backing up. So Elgin, guys, this is, I wouldn't try to accuse the opponent of overlooking you, but Elgin's comes out a little sloppy to start this one.
Yeah, I don't know if it's as much overlooking. It kind of is overlooking, but I wonder if it's as much of, hey, we could put up some points on these guys. They feel like they can. They
turn it on when they need to.
They know how confident it is, and it's turning in kind of a cockiness,
2nd and 15 for the Owls. Laura in the pistol again. They go with the little reverse handoff inside. Another hole to the 40, 35. Down inside the 35 to almost the 30. And on that handoff, it was Kason Meyer, the sophomore. Another huge hole off that left side. That's where the 2 Division I linemen are. And Elgin, sure enough, erases the penalty yards. They get the 1st and 10 to the 30, so 17-yard run. As we get to 2:40 remaining in the first quarter, Elgin leads 6-0 now in Boomer territory at the 30. And did the Boomers jump this time? It looks like they may have went off sides. So that's tough there for the Boomers. And that will move Elgin 5 yards forward, so call it 1st and 5.
Just curious where we're at on penalty yardage already.
Not keeping track. I could count it up at half, but we're getting up there for this first quarter. It's still gone by fast.
Yeah, luckily Elgin likes to run the ball, so that keeps the clock moving.
Laura in the pistol, 2 receivers to right, 1 to the left. Back to pass on 1st and 5. Fans a man open over the middle. It's Kason Meyer, the sophomore, and he gets into the end zone for the touchdown. Kason Meyer found a little soft spot in the Boomer zone. Nice delivery by Laura, and it's a 30-yard touchdown. And just one of those, Eric, where that's one of those you go back on film and say, okay, guys, we got to tighten that up just a touch. And credit to Meyer for finding the soft spot.
Yeah, that wasn't your, traditional what you would call busted coverage, but
right.
it was, one of those situations where they sold it just well enough in the backfield. There was there was a move that threw off a Boomer linebacker and allowed him just to stand there wide open.
So 2-point attempt for Elgin as they lead 12-0. Had missed the extra point the first time, and Ritzenmeyer, able to just walk in to the end zone on the right side on the handoff. So Elgin makes it 14-0 with 2:36 remaining in the first quarter as they extend their lead. Drive-wise, 9 plays. They go 60 yards, do the outs. And you kind of figure this is going to happen, Eric, to a degree, but it is the big plays that are hurting you right now. That's tough to stop with how efficient this Elgin team can be.
Yeah, like I said, they're patient in the way they, they're very methodical. I should say it that way. Even, you think a lot of times offense spread out, they're going to throw the ball a lot, but they're still very methodical in the way they do things. They don't try to do too much. Even in the big plays, the big runs, that touchdown right there, it wasn't that they were just trying to make a big play. They were just putting it in a spot to pick up yardage, but just the way they do things, the Boomers haven't been able to make the stop.
It's very controlled. It's not hurried. It's not rushed. Very almost like a, similar to what you see kind of a college team, right? In terms of that methodical pace. So Delgado back to kick off for Elgin. Back deep to return for the Boomers. Latal, Colt Moore, left and right side. As Delgado walks into it, puts the boot, and end over end. Bit of a shorter kick again. Moore able to race up to the 20 and grab it. Now trying to reverse cross field a little bit up the middle. Finds a bit of a hole. Gets to the 35, near the 40, dragging a couple of defenders. Finally stood up, but Colt Moore really doing an excellent job of finding some gaps on these returns.
Yeah, Colt's wiry. I mean, that's if you watch him on the basketball court, he's kind of the same way. He's just wiry. The way he moves his body and stuff, and he's got great vision. That's one thing I always enjoyed about him was whenever I was coaching basketball was the fact that he could see the floor as well as he does. Great defender, and that lends itself well in a kickoff return situation.
So the Boomers take over 1st and 10, trailing 14-0, 2:26 remaining first quarter. As they have their own 40. Douglas Fisher in the gun, 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right of the formation, a tight end as well on the left side, man in the backfield. As they'll pitch it to him, it's Latal on the quick pitch, but boy, Elgin all over that, dragging Latal down deep in the backfield for a big loss. And Elgin just not fooled by it.
And this is where the last possession where we struggled, kind of hitting those on those short passes. I think, that's where that hurts us, is it forces us to try to do some things and they can pin their ears back and not be worried about, what's going to go on downfield.
And you see the reason for that play is to try to get something, to bite, but Elgin's well-versed with those linebackers. So 2nd and 16 for the Boomers. Douglas Fisher in the gun by himself. 4 receivers to the left side. Quick screen pass, and that one incomplete as Cooper Latal couldn't quite hang on to it. That'll bring up the 3rd and long for the Boomers as we are now being invaded by Sheila Gay into our press box space. She invaded Frontline Quick Scores last week. CJ said she had a good time, so I guess she's up here trying to check out what we do.
I think CJ's converted her to radio. I think
maybe
that's what's going on.
That's what it sounds like. That's the campaign. Of course, had Young Tire, son with her. I hadn't seen him around here yet. Oh, in band, that's correct. I forget about that. Good reminder. Yes, it was in band. So maybe after halftime. All right, so the Boomers 3rd and 16. Back to pass Douglas Fisher yet again. Empty sit, under pressure, having to roll out, looking short, diving for it as Graff on the near sideline. Can't come up with it. And that'll be 4th and long for Woodward right now. Eric, this is something you figure, considering the Boomer linemen, the way we're a little banged up there. Elgin's pinning the ears back, saying we're going to bring the pressure, and you've got to answer.
Yeah, they really are. I mean, Ely may be seeing some things down there too, but it feels like every play they've got at least one guy blitzing.
Yeah, especially some stunts from the linebackers. I mean, they always have they usually put number 34 on some stunts.
Some Myers, you mentioned Oliver Meyer on those stunts. A punt by Jake Graff, fielded by Elgin. A return up to the 50, now to the 30, the 25, and stepping out of bounds finally as the Boomers able to corral him a little bit there. That one, Brody Morrison just finding that space down the far sideline and getting a really good return out of it. We'll see where they marked him out. It's tough to tell because he's right on that
pressure on the
sideline.
quarterback, and they're having to roll out, and then they can't make that throw as accurate as you'd like. So that doesn't help whenever your line kind of isn't ready for those stunts.
For sure. As Elgin takes over 1st and 10 with a minute 20 to go in the first quarter. They lead 14-0. They've got it at the Boomer 40 after the good punt return by Morrison. As Laura in the pistol. Again, a handoff to Meyer. This time off the left side. It's got a big hole and puts his head down, falls forward to the 31-yard line. Gain of 9 for Elgin on first down. And right now it's just, and Elgin's done this to everybody. Don't think they've only just doing this to Woodward. They have blown everybody off the ball this year so far. And it's more of the same tonight, especially at left side. Ogamoru, Williams, the 2 D1 guys, they're playing like it.
Yeah, I think the Boomers can't get frustrated, and I really hope they don't, because all 3 games they've been able to blow people up on the defensive side of the ball. And this is the first time they really can't get any kind of penetration. So.
This is the best line you're going to see all season. Period.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's how it is. So 2nd and 1 for Elgin. Laura again in the pistol. Will end around this time to Meyer. Casey Meyer off the right side, big hole, and he'll go for a touchdown. A flag comes out late, though, as young sophomore Casey Meyer looks like he's got a 2nd touchdown for now. We'll see where the flag.
I think that's coming back.
I think it might be, as that was a little bit too easy once he found the outside, and it was a hole.
I think it's coming back, and I think it was it really is a situation where the guy that held, and I think it was going to be Okamura. Is that actually who?
Ogamoru, 55.
Ogamoru, yep, that's actually, I think, who is the one who held downfield, reached out, maybe grabbed a jersey or something, and as the ball carrier was already past him.
Yeah. And it still winds up being a first down for Elgin because the hold was so far upfield, they'll have it at the 20. So it's essentially a gain of about 11 still. But it does erase the touchdown. And so they'll put the chains out. 1st and 10 for Elgin, as they'll be in the red. 5 seconds remaining first quarter. They lead 14-0. Trips receivers to the left side. They motion the back out. It's Meyer. They swing it to him on the pass. Breaks one tackle at the line of scrimmage. Cuts his way to the right side of the field. Finds a hole. Gets the touchdown. And another one as Ritson Meyer this time finds the hole. And that's just honestly good footwork. Tough to stop.
Yeah, it's impressive how well he sees the field. And, they've had some holds tonight, but the fact that they just get out there and do what they can to create those openings, and that just allows him to, like I said, the way he sees the field too, because his little cutback just then, you don't think of seeing that a lot of times, and he was able to recognize it.
So the extra point by Delgado this time is good. No issues on the hold for Laura, and Elgin takes it 21-0 after the 3-play 40-yard drive. And so with 11 seconds in the first quarter, the Boomers will get it back. But we would definitely like to thank Great Plains Bank, Heritage Trust, Respect. Those are the things that makes Great Plains Bank great. Deep roots across Oklahoma and Texas. They are in touch with the communities in which their customers live and work. Thanks to Great Plains Bank for powering Boomer sports all season long.
Ely, what do you think the Boomers need to do kind of on this offensive possession to try to get some momentum going?
Well, you kind of first drive.
You're having some mechanical issues there, Ely. I'm not sure what's going on with you. So, as something,
I think the PA is messing with the.
I'll get a little interference maybe from the PA to the Skype. Okay. Yeah, that might be the case. So we'll fix that. There we go. Take care of that for a second. We'll try it back in a second. So 3-play, 40-yard drive for Elgin as the Boomers will get it back. Delgado again to kick. This one a bit more of a sky kick. Trying to aim for spots towards the sideline. It does go out of bounds. So Moore was there to make sure that nobody was going to be on it as it goes out of bounds. We'll give the Boomers a good field position. All right, now let's try to see if we could get Mr. Noble here.
You got me.
Yes, now we got you.
Yeah, what I was saying, on the very first drive for the Boomers, you had those 2 quick passes. Like Eric said, you had the yards to get the first down. It's just the the penalties obviously cost us, and it's going to be tough to throw things over the middle because the D-line's so tall and they're getting pressure. So I think you just need those quick escape routes, get some easy throws, get some confidence going, and then maybe set up the run afterwards.
So the Boomers 1st and 10 at their own 35. Douglas Fisher in the gun, 2 receivers to the right side of the formation, 1 to the left, Lataw in the backfield. Douglas Fisher, the handoff up the gut. Lataw dives forward for a couple of yards, maybe a yard and a half, before he's taken down, and that will be the end of the first quarter as Elgin leads after 1, 21-0 over the Boomers on Military Appreciation Night. You're listening on Z92 and Boomer TV.
Who can solve this equation?
Ooh! Me.
Anyone else? Fine. Jake from State Farm. Again.
All right. It's the personal price plan theorem. If you bundle your home and auto, that can equal just for you. Bundling. Just another way to save with the personal price plan. Like a good neighbor.
There's nothing like being from Western Oklahoma. It's family and community. It's spring storms and winter wheat. It's fall football and summer baseball. And there's one bank that really understands our area. Bank of Western Oklahoma. We've been locally owned from the beginning, and we still are. When you need a bank that understands your unique life, choose Bank of Western Oklahoma, the bank that works as hard as you do. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Tires are put to the test every day, everywhere around the world. Michelin invents the tire that
on the fake handoff. He'll squeeze his way through the middle for a little bit and get a few yards. Gets it about a, well, they go there, about a 5-yard gain for Douglas Fisher. So nice little keeper. Put yourself in a 3rd and manageable situation.
Tyler, I just got a text from somebody that Ritzenmeyer and his brother, their dad is a Winoka guy.
Oh, really?
He was on the Winoka State Championships team in '96.
Okay.
So.
Well, they are some studs, I can tell you that.
So there you go.
3rd and 3 for the Boomers as we're just underway in the second quarter. They trail 21-0. 2 receivers to the left, 2 to the right. Douglas Fisher just going to pull it off the snap, using those legs, gets across the 30 or the 45, has a first down. And Eric, not surprised to see that adjustment by the Boomers. We know Douglas Fisher could go, and if Elgin's going to come at you wide, just hit him up the gut.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and actually the first play of the drive, they tried that little draw play and picked up a couple yards, but. You know, that's what you got to do when they are getting so much penetration and they're getting to you so quick. Just run past them. You know, run right past them as their momentum's carrying them the other way. So, you know, great job by the Boomer coaching staff and the Boomer players to make that adjustment.
So 1st and 10 for Woodward at their own 46. Douglas Fisher in the gun. 2 to the right, 1 to the left, I should say, and a tight end. The handoff up the middle to Lataw and blown up immediately. My goodness, coming through the line there was Shea Spencer, the right tackle, also the D lineman. Just read that one the entire way.
I don't think he was touched. I mean, that was definitely a missed assignment on the offensive line by the Boomers.
To make it 2nd and about 14 for the Boomers. 10:20 to go in the first half. They trail 21-0, trying to drive. Do have 1 first down on this possession. But now in the 2nd and long situation, Douglas Fisher in the gun. 1 receiver to the left side as well as a tight end. 2 to the right side of the formation. As he'll take the snap, roll out to the right side under some pressure. Steps up, puts a throw out there. Caught by Jake Graff on the far sideline. Nice play, big first down for the Boomers as they get into Elgin territory at about the 37. And that's what you want to see. Again, we mentioned the pregame, the maturity for Brian Douglas Fisher just to be in the pocket, Eric, and be comfortable. Seen a little bit of it tonight.
Yeah, I think he still took a little bit of a shot afterwards from behind, but yeah, great job for him to recognize the fact that, you know, if he stepped up, that would allow him to have just a little bit of extra time, hit Jake in stride. There was a little bit of extracurricular activity over there on the Elgin sideline that was kind of blinded by the officials, unfortunately. You know, but great job to execute on that play.
So 1st and 10 for the Boomers at the Elgin 38. Douglas Fisher in the gun by himself. A quick pass looking for Littall. Littall wasn't quite ready for it there. A good identification by Douglas Fisher, getting quick. He's telling Littall to be, hey, head on a swivel there, because that could have been just a little quick hit for 5 or 6.
Yeah, I think, you know, that was one of those situations where Littall, I think, was going to his spot, doing a great job. He needed Ryan Douglas needed to get the ball out a little bit quicker, and it would be to Littall's back shoulder, just a little out of reach.
So 2nd and 10 for the Boomers. 9:45 remaining first half. They trail 21-0, trying to drive. They're in Elgin territory at the 38. Douglas Fisher in the gun. 4 receivers to the left side of the formation. Looking that way. Again, finds Cooper Littall. Same play, went right back to it. This time they complete it for a solid little gain. Up to about the 31, maybe 32.
And I think that was just an adjustment from the last play. In the last play, Cooper was trying to go and kind of cut almost on a slant type of play, but that time he just a little quick hit straight up the middle, and you know, he made that adjustment and executed well.
So a 6-yard gain, 3rd and 4 for the Boomers. 9:10 remain in the half. They trail 21-0, but in Elgin territory at their 32. Douglas Fisher in the gun again. This time 4 receivers to the right side of the formation. Just flipped from what we saw last play. Douglas Fisher back to pass, looking the right side, a little screen play. A flag comes out quick as Littall catches it. Does get the first down, also nice blocking, but this one likely coming back as the flag came out on the snap.
Yeah, it's coming back. I kind of wish they would have got a penalty earlier because Cooper jumped just a tad, got a little antsy. I wish they would have called that, because that would have only been 5 yards as opposed to this. Looks like it'll probably be a 10-yard hold.
We'll see how it's called. I don't know. That one's out pretty quick. It may only be in the 5-yard variety. We'll see what the final call is. As they're conferring, making sure. And it is the hold. You're on it. So.
Well, they're going to define the hold, but it looks like there's 2 holds.
Oh, okay.
So one hold may have been a little bit further back,
field,
and that's why they declined the first hold.
So instead of a first down for the Boomers, you now have 3rd and long. You go from 3rd and 4 to 3rd and 14. Tough break there.
Now the Boomer offense has got to do a better job. That, you know, I said it a lot. Dodge City said it some against Alva. A lot of times your holes is because you're getting beat.
Right.
And so if you're getting beat, you just got to do everything you can not to cause more of a problem.
And you do have some young linemen in there tonight that are not your usual starters, so that's part of it as well. Same formation as last play. 4 receivers to the right. Douglas Fisher back pass again. They look off the bubble screen. He's going to tuck and run, taking it to the left side. Escapes 1 tackle, gets up to the 40, drug down inside the 40 to about the original line of scrimmage. So a gain of about 4. Not a bad take by Douglas Fisher, just not much there. Tucks it and runs. And that, you know, if you're the coaching staff, we talk about this game being a game where, hey, you're trying to build on what you did in the non-district. That's one of the decisions you say, hey, that's good film, because nothing was there, and you made the right decision to make a positive play. Is it a first down? No, but against lesser stellar teams
it helps
than Elgin.
It helps your field position just a little bit.
Yes. And against, you know, teams that are not Elgin, you're probably going to have a lot more success on something like that. So Jay Graff on for the potential pooch punt as he pooches it from his own 50. A high sky kick. This one to the right side. Not bad at all as it dives and rolls right out of bounds just about the 10-yard line. And there is a flag way back here, though, near the line of scrimmage. So this will be interesting. See who it is. For now, Elgin's taking over at about their own 10, maybe 11. We'll see if it's on them, they'll back them up or not, or if it's on the Boomers. Still, who knew Jake Graff could be the sneaky special punter here? He's come out and done a good job to him.
And I've talked about, you know, Jake is just one of those kids who's an athlete. He's always been, you know, good at pretty much all the sports he's done. I'm sure he played soccer at some point, but he's also a really solid baseball player.
Right.
And, you know, he's just played a little bit of it all. So it looks like it's going to be an illegal shift by the Boomers.
Yeah, the way that one came out flag-wise, you figured may have been on the Boomers, unfortunately. So we'll give Elgin chance to maybe force. Is this a play where the Boomers are forced to repunt?
And they actually had 2 calls. No, well, they called it a loss of down, so
okay.
Is that going to – but how do you have a loss of down when it's 4th down?
Correct, yeah.
Wouldn't that just be a repunt?
Apparently not, because Elgin's coming up. Well, they're setting up like they're ready to receive a punt again. Yeah.
Yep. Okay. I don't understand why calling it a loss of down because
right.
Because that just seems to add a little
extra
extra
call may
confusion.
have been illegal substitution.
So
the Boomers will repunt as the penalty yardage gets marked off. So Graff, instead of punting at about his own 50, instead will be punting, or I say his own 50, at the 50, will be punting closer to about his own 32-yard line or so after the penalty. So the repunt, 7:48 to go in the half. The Boomers trail 21-0 as Elgin back to receive on this 4th down. Bit of a high snap. Graff on it though. That a shorter punt. Again, off the side of the foot, not clean. Takes a bad bounce too, and it'll roll out near the 50. So big break for Elgin with the penalty because they would have been deep in their own territory instead, taking over near midfield.
yeah, and that's where penalties can really bite you because it forces, you have something well, but because of undisciplined execution or whatever it may be, you have a penalty. It forces you to do it again, and then something happens, and you just kind of hate that for Jake and you hate that for for the Boomer special teams.
So 1st and 10 for the Owls at their own 49. 39 to go in the half. As handoff inside of Meyer again. Ritzenmeyer trying to drag it out. The Boomers, good contact about 5 yards in, but he spins off of it, now dragging the pile near the 1st down marker. Ritzenmeyer, what a strong runner he is.
I mean, he is a big kid. Remember the old Thunder and Lightning that you used to hear.
Oh, Reggie Bush, Lindell White, how could you forget?
That's exactly what it kind of feels like. Unfortunately, a little flip where, right. Ritson is kind of the main guy.
Right, he's the Thunder when it was, yeah.
You want to hear Lightning first and then Thunder, but science, who cares about science?
No, it's an apt comparison. There's no doubt. Because they are a load to deal with either way, with the speed or the power. So 2nd and 1 for the Owls at the Boomer 41, or 42, I should say. A fake on the inside handoff, and now it's out to Kasemeyer. He's racing ahead and gets it deep into Boomer territory on the little tunnel screen. Gets to about the 20 before he's taken down, and a Boomer down as well in the middle of that at about the 30. So Elgin does come up with another 1st down, and they'll tend to the injured Boomer player. Compass Athletics, from sports equipment to championship trophies and everything in between. 2024 Main Street in Woodward. Call them as well, 580-256-7045. Compass Athletics, powering Boomer sports throughout the season.
The Elgin training staff happened to be right there on the sideline where the Boomer went down. They were out there really quick, and it looks like, is this maybe Brody Providence, maybe?
Be a bit unfortunate as they tend to them. Do want to mention again, so if you're waiting for the Boomer Band to perform at halftime, they are actually performing after the game because the Elgin Band will perform at half. Elgin, similar to the Boomer Band, and Alva wanted to get the performance in marching season, so they will be performing. The Boomers will do it after the game. As we continue to wait on the injury, it looks like, yes, Brody Providence up under his own power and walking off the field. A little bit limp, but jogging now, so maybe just got, breath knocked out, one of those things, and he's back and rolling. So Elgin will have the 1st and 10 at the Boomer 21-yard line after the big gain.
Well, and I do know Brody's kind of been dealing with a shoulder issue, and that's the way he's walking. He's kind of
tended to it,
leaning down a little bit, and so I'm wondering if maybe something got tweaked again.
So Elgin at the 21 in Boomer territory, 6:45 to go in the 1st half. They lead 21-0, trying to build on that lead. As Tora will be in the pistol yet again. 2 receivers to the right side, 1 to the left. Or Laura, excuse me, I'm combining this first name. Laura, back to pass quick over the middle and the post, and he's got a man caught, touchdown. Josh Adesola able to get that one. The senior just found A little bit of that inside release on the post, and it's a touchdown strike from Laura to Ada Sola.
And that's what we were talking about during the pregame. They do everything well.
Yeah.
You know, they don't.
No real weak points on their team.
Right. You know, and that wasn't poor coverage by the Boomers, anything like that. He just hit him in the perfect spot in stride.
As Delgado's extra point for Elgin up and good. So your Just Wells Chevrolet scoreboard. Elgin leads 28-0 over the Boomers. 6:34 to go in the first half. Just Wells Chevrolet in Shattuck. It's where honesty is not just a word, it's how they drive every deal. Visit JustWellChevrolet.com. Call them 580-938-2122. Just Wells Chevrolet powering your scoreboard throughout the season for the Boomers. R5 Custom Embroidery. When you work with R5 Custom Embroidery, you can count on a quick, fun, and enjoyable process with results that consistently exceed your expectations. Come chat with them about customized apparel. Visit them 817 Main Street, Woodward, or call 580-256-3579. R5 Custom Embroidery, powering the Boomers all season long. So you're at a point now, guys, where, you know, again, it's just those big plays by Elgin. That's tough to adjust to and stop. I mean, the message, Ely, at this point is just, hey, like you said, keep the head up, right, and keep trying to execute.
Yeah, and also don't forget to have fun. I mean, you signed up to play this sport. It's football. Love it while you have it. I mean, these seniors, this is their last year, so I would just try to go out here and make the most of the opportunities that you're given.
Absolutely. No question about it.
Yeah, and again, if you're the Boomers, don't get frustrated.
This is a really good Elgin team.
You know, again, like you said, like that, it's a really good Elgin team. They're
State
not
contending Elgin team.
Right. They're not. Yeah, Boomers have had some mistakes, but you're getting beat because of their skill.
Right.
You know, you're not getting beat because you're doing something wrong.
Right. That's the big thing. You're not, you know, giving it all on a platter. You're trying to make a burner, which is all you could ask in this atmosphere. So the kickoff for the Boomers is returnable here for Cooper Latal as he's able to try to get to the 20 before he's dragged down by Casey Meyer. Another good tackle for him on the kick return coverage as the Boomers take over 1st and 10 inside their own 20, about the 19. Latal tried to find some space, but Meyer flew in again.
And as I say that, there's some Boomers kind of after that play, you know, did a little extracurricular stuff, getting in some guys' faces that, you know, a little unnecessary.
Yeah,
you know,
young team, got to corral and say, hey guys, not the time and the place.
You know, you're at a point where you get pushed back, you're right up against goal line. Don't cause that because you're, you know, being too excited, too worked up.
So Douglas Fisher in the gun for the Boomers. 3 receivers to the left side. Now, Cooper Latal trying to find his space. He'll go back to the right side. So 2 on each side, a tight end on the left as well. Douglas Fisher looking for the quick pass, finds Latal on the quick stick, and gets about 3, maybe 4 yards. So you like play design there, knowing it's been free so far against Elgin, and just taking it for a positive first down gain of 4.
You know, these are things that we haven't really executed on as, you know, through the first 3 games.
Right.
And so, you know, you're doing things that you would like to see, and so just keep doing them, keep working. Yeah, you know, it's going to be tough to win this game at this point, but you get better. That's all you can do.
Well, like we talked about district resets, so you fall to 1 loss in district, you still got plenty of opportunity left to go pick up some wins. As Douglas Fisher on 2nd and 6, going for the little reverse handoff. They get it out to Graff. Graff, though, immediately met by Donnelly and swung down. As Colin Donnelly has been all over the Boomers on the edges when they've tried to go there. The linebacker making it another big play. As it's a loss of about 4, maybe 5. You like trying to get to the edge, but Elgin right now has just got the speed to match.
Yeah, I think, you know, honestly, I think if we could have done something like that against Alva, even Dodge City, I think they would have been able to execute those.
Yeah, and they're near an execution. It's just Elgin good reads on that. I believe the Boomers will take that timeout. 5:12 remaining in the half. Elgin leads 20. Oh, it's on Elgin, the timeout. So they will burn their first. Western Drug, 1021 Oklahoma Avenue in Woodward. They've got friendly caring staff and a drive-through window that is awfully convenient. Always excellent service as well. Call them 580-256-5586. Western Drug, powering Boomer Sports all season long. here on KMZ FM Woodward. That's it for the Boomers. Facing that 3rd and long. We've seen them have some plays in the bag to at least get close to that stick. It's just, can you execute it with the Elgin pressure? You know that's coming to you. That's what they've done so far, is really challenge. Try and get an early peek at some of those district contests we were talking about going on at 4A1. Of course, as always, you catch all the scores on Friday Night Quick Scores over on K101. Clinton Weatherford 14-10 at the half. Weatherford leads undefeated Clinton right now. Elk City up on cash early, 23-7 second quarter. And Douglas Bridge Creek all over Douglas, 28-0 in the second quarter. So that's your district update there. As the Boomers ready on 3rd and long again, Douglas Fisher. 3 receivers to the right side, 1 to the left. Looking for the quick pass. Colt Moore is getting held and no flat.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think they're going to say that was uncatchable. But
yeah, pass was a bit deep, and there was definitely contact. Unfortunate for the Boomers because that Moore had the step one-on-one. And if that's a little bit more catchable ball, not that Ryan didn't try, they throw the flag. But that was pretty blatant.
Yeah,
so.
I think if Ryan could have got just a little bit different angle on the throw and got the ball a little bit further downfield, that would have been a pass interference.
So 5:08 remains in the half. Now a flag does come out. Not sure what this one's on for the Boomers.
You can't pick up the ball.
Oh, that's
and we just heard it.
Yeah, Ely caught it there a little bit. Apparently the Boomers are picking up the ball. Oh,
no.
Okay, I'm about to say, I was like, hold on a minute, that was on Woodward. So I'll back them up. They're picking the ball up early is what it is. False start essentially is what acclimates.
Practicing with a new deep snap.
Oh, okay.
And then that's the kind of a first mistake there.
Right. So he's picking up the ball when he can't. Okay, so it results in a false start technically. So Boomers back deeper to punt as Kraft takes the snap. And that one, a bit of a side. The good job to get it around. Decent kick as Morrison able to catch it off the bounce. So have some room to return. Gets out to the left side, the 40, the 30. He's got some blocks. The 20, 15, and finally pushed out of bounds. That's the only tough part about the line drive, Eric, is Jake Graff did a really good job to get the punt off with some pressure in his face, but line drive gives Morrison a chance to get some return yards.
Yeah, unfortunately on the coverage team, we had about four or five Boomers that run into the same spot. And kind of because of where they were all at, from where he picked up the ball, it allowed him to get around the corner really quick and didn't have nearly as many guys to have to get by. But, so you'd like to see him kind of cut. You hear the term coverage.
Right.
Cover the field a little bit better, kind of see what you've got to do to keep them contained.
So 1st and 10 for Elgin at the Boomer 15. Laura back to pass. Little rollout looking near the goal line. Caught, and it is Meyer again. Casey Meyer, the sophomore, with a big first half. Again, just on his route, kind of cut it off about the 2-yard line. Made a tough catch and rolled into the end zone, essentially. So an immediate strike for Elgin from 15 yards out.
These guys are good. I'm incredibly impressed.
And again, you had Boomers in the area trying to play right, but Meyer made an adjustment on that route. He kind of cut it off early. So all things that you go back on film and say, okay, here's what a top team's going to do to you. And Delgado, another extra point is good. I know it's odd to say when the score is the way it is, but we touched on it. The Boomers aren't just giving this one away. Yeah, he had a little bit of a tough punt coverage, but compared to week one, guys, the execution for the most part, the confidence in a lot better spot than what we've seen previously.
Yeah, and it's not like, it doesn't seem like we're doing things wrong. Right. Like you said, like it's Elgin executing. There's a lot of times we have guys in the right place where it looks like they should be, and even on that rollout, we had somebody who was in the spot in case he decided to keep the ball. And go on a keeper kind of around the outside, he would have been stopped, but unfortunately the Meyer found the open spot, got into the open spot, did his job. Everybody's doing their job, and a lot of times when everybody does their job, the offense, is going to, if they execute, they're gonna win it.
Especially in today's game, it's leaning towards that offensive side, no question. So 4:48 remaining in the half. Boomers trail 35-0 after the touchdown by Elgin. They'll get their crack at it offensively. Still with all 3 timeouts as Delgado on the kickoff. makes it off, or steps himself off, I guess you'd say. As he'll march towards the ball, foot into it, and a little bit stronger kick this time, returnable for Colt Moore on the left side. Finds a little bit of a hole, gets up to the 30, and another decent return for Colt Moore as he gets about the 33-yard line. So the Boomers take over 1st and 10 with 4:43 remaining in the first half. We'll see how the Boomers try to move the ball this series. So we'll be at the 33 officially. As Douglas Fisher in the gun, 4 receivers to the right side, tight end on the left side, empty backfield otherwise. Quick clap, sees some of that pressure coming, and the Boomers jump a little bit on that right side as Maine was creeping up for Elgin, that forced a touch movement. Just trying to get set in terms of being ready for that pass rush.
Yeah, Jackson Sutherland kind of creeping up there, ready to take off, and the Boomer offensive lineman just kind of got a little too antsy. Came up just a little too quick.
So make it 1st and 15 for the Boomers. Same formation, 4 to the right, tight end on the left side. Douglas Fisher in the gun by himself. Takes the snap, looking quickly to the right side, going for Littall. Littall cut in a touch, and Douglas Fisher was a little too behind Littall. Looking underneath, the right idea, just couldn't quite hook up. 2nd and 15.
You know, thinking about the movement on the line, I looked up to see who that maybe was. And that's. Well, again, it's one of those guys who's had to step in because of injuries.
Right.
It's
mentioned
not,
Drake Roberts out tonight.
Yeah, so. It's not one of the normal starting first team offensive linemen.
So 2nd and 15 for the Boomers. Douglas Fisher, 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left, fakes the handoff, finds Jake Graff on the quick out, and Graff able to get about 5 yards before he's drugged down. Gets up to about the 33, so nearly the original line of scrimmage. Maybe gave him a yard of progress to the 34.
Good tackle there by the Elgin defender. If he wasn't able to wrap Jake up, Jake was able to pick up another good 10, 15 yards probably.
4:15 remaining in the half. Boomers trying to drive as they trail 3rd and 9. Got to get to the, looks like 43-yard line for the first, maybe a bit past it. Douglas Fisher in the gun. Tight formation, 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. As Douglas Fisher rolls to the left side, looking to pass, throws over the middle. That one in some traffic, trying to get it to Jake Graff, who was breaking open near the sideline a bit late. Pass just a touch off the mark, and that would be 4th down. Not a bad concept. Into a bit of a crowd, but Graff was just a step maybe ahead. Would have been a tough catch, maybe.
Yeah, I think it's still been a tough catch, and that may have been it. And honestly, if that throw was made a little bit closer to where Jake was, maybe the defender's able to slip in there and make the interception. So it might not have been such a bad thing that it was missed.
Graff on to punt now as he takes a little bit of a high snap. This punt angled away from the returner, Brody Morrison. Goes out of bounds on the Elgin sideline, about the 45-yard line. That's where we'll take over 1st and 10. As Sealy State Bank, they've got a branch now in Woodward, the new location, 2314 Williams Avenue. Sealy State Bank Woodward branch offers full-service banking, including personal checking, savings, home and commercial loans, as well as mobile and online banking and much more. Check out the Sealy State Bank Woodward branch, powering Boomer Sports all season long.
Ely, what do you think the Boomer defense needs to do here?
Just try to fill up the middle. I mean, the run game, right?
Run game
just try to keep it up the middle and don't let them do this right here.
As Meyer does take the handoff up the middle and just bull rushing his way through the line, another big hole, and just dragging his own man trying to push him forward.
Yeah, he never actually went down.
The right tackle, just keeping him up. I mean, that's what's, I think, the most impressive thing about this Elgin squad, Eric, is that they are truly, those linemen are just 5 guys kicking butt every time almost.
Yeah, if you're listening and not watching this on Boomer TV, when we say up the middle, it is literally straight up the middle. There's nothing special he's doing.
It's so tough to stop. I mean, they just block it so well. So 1st and 10 for Elgin, the pistol. Again for Laura, another handoff to Ritzenmeyer this time. A little patient, puts the footwork on. The cutback flag does come in. Meyer breaking out of tackles, though, at the 25. He'll go to the 10, the 5. It's a touchdown. Definitely coming back, though, despite the fireworks by Ritzenmeyer on the run. Flag way back in the backfield. So
again, that's one of those.
Shoo.
It's going to be a block in the back and not a hold this time. And again, I think it happened after he was already past where the penalty happened. So that those are mistakes if you're Elgin that if you clean up, you're borderline perfect game. But because you're still making those little mistakes, that's not necessarily coming back to haunt you, but it's just making you have to work a little bit harder.
It is. Ritzenmeyer, though, that footwork, that vision. I mean, you mentioned it a minute ago. It's impressive. It's impressive what he can do with that. And doing it with a 200-pound frame. He's not a skinny guy sitting at 205 and 6 foot. So make it 1st and about 15, 16 or so for Elgin. And the pistol is Laura. This time the handoff to the change of pace back in Antuna. And Antuna able to get back a lot of that penalty yardage and get across the 40 to about the 39, maybe 38-yard line. As they'll pick up a gain of 10 officially. So you do get back all the penalty yardage from where that flag was thrown originally. As Braxton Antuna, the sophomore, the speed back, only 5'7", 160 to the juniors 205 and 6 foot. Back to pass to Laura, looking quick. Find him, Kasemeyer, again sitting in a soft zone at the 25 to the 20 before he's taken down. The young sophomore having a heck of a game at receiver, just doing a really good job by identifying the soft spot every time.
And that's what, having the running game that they have, in, keeping it spread out and getting the blocking that they've been able to get to is, the Boomers are expecting the run, and whenever he drops back, you're trying to find your guy, make sure you get in your space, and, he's just finding that opening.
Laura hands off again to Antuna. He gets a hole on the left side, cuts back, looking up towards the goal line, dive forward, and they stop him just a bit short of the touchdown. Still an 18-yard gain for Antuna. Another one where as soon as he takes that handoff, that left side is wide open because that's your strong side. That's those Division I guys, Ogamora, the Tennessee commit, and Williams, the Navy commit. They are moving some hay.
Well, a lot of that play was number 77, Shea Spencer. He was able to
on a pull.
He pulled across, and he was staying ahead the whole way and kind of got that last block to get a couple extra yards.
1st and goal for the Owls. Minute 40 left to go in the half, looking to extend their lead. It looks like maybe a false start or a timeout. Didn't see a flag. Timeout by the Boomers, I believe.
Yeah.
So a timeout taken by Woodward as Elgin sits up on that 1st and goal. M&D Enterprises and Lawnmower Shop for your best lawn, porch, or patio. Visit M&D Enterprises. They are your people. They carry everything you need to make your greenscape that little slice of heaven you have always dreamed of. Locations in Woodward, Kenton, and Weatherford. M&D Enterprises and Lawnmower Shop, powering Boomer Sports all season long. And the Boomers, as far as next week, what's ahead, we talked about the good news is, Eric, this is, again, your toughest test you're going to get all district season long. So you get this one out of the way, you take some lessons from it, and then you start getting into kind of the more meat, some of those teams that you feel, you can really compete with. You go to Cache next week. That's a long road trip, but a team that is definitely trying to recuperate, if you will.
And I think that's the big thing, too, is don't get frustrated, with how this has gone. You got to look at, like you said, the things they've done well.
And on the 1st and goal, it's Colin Donnelly, the linebacker, taking a little reverse sweep, and he'll get in for the 1-yard score as Elgin tacks on to their lead.
You just continue to build upon, what you feel like you need to do. Don't adjust to what other teams
Don't over-adjust to a team like this is what you're saying.
Right. Just do what you feel like you need to do to win some games in the district.
And we've seen some of that. You mentioned out of the bye week, right? We've seen offensively the coaches identifying, okay, if we're going to put together a drive against a team like Elgin, you got to be quick. You got to be, able to have some of those hitters, and they've adjusted that more as the game has gone on. They kind of abandoned some of those deep shots, knowing that Ryan Douglas Fisher right now is just not going to get that time because of the way Elgin's blitzing. So it's good to see those adjustments. And if you keep that mentality going forward, against a Cache, against a Douglas, against Bridge Creek, probably set you up for a decent opportunity as well.
Yeah, when you're trying to build a program, when you're trying to, add to the culture, get it back to where it once was as a, a perennial playoff contender.
Right. Yeah.
You've got to take small strides. You can't expect
that come all overnight.
Right. You can't expect the Boomers to come out here and beat a team like Elgin. You want to see some things work better than they have, maybe. Be able to do some things differently, but you can't expect that. You just got to expect them to continue to grow. This is still a very young team, and so and we may even see some things in the second half that we're not seeing in the first half, just because they're going to try a few things out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
good opportunity to do that, no doubt. At the very least, if you think, well, I'm not sure if I'll run this game, you put on film for another team to worry about down the road. As Elgin ready to kick this one off, Boomers will have another drive here with about a minute 30 to go in the half. As Delgado this time targeting over to Cooper Latal, catches at the 10-yard line. Latal looking to find the edge, cuts back about the middle of the field, dives forward to the 20, and able to get about to the 21-yard line. So Latal trying to find that hole. As Boomers take over, 1st and 10. That's their own 21. You got 2 timeouts remaining to work with as well on this drive, so we'll see how we go with that. As Douglas Fisher continues at quarterback, we'll line up with 4 receivers to the right side of the formation. Maybe looking for that quick hit, a tight end to the left side, no receivers, nobody in the backfield. Douglas Fisher with the clap. Sees a little bit of the pressure, knowing it's coming. Now drop backs the pass, and boy, all the way there quickly on him. He just tried to flip it to the sideline. I don't think he got it back to the line of scrimmage. And not sure if this will be a flag or what they're going to call this, because that was definitely not back to the line of scrimmage for Douglas Fisher. Good effort just to try to make sure he didn't take a big sack. Because Elgin really sent the house on that play. It looks like, they'll throw the flag for intentional grounding. So unfortunate for the Boomers, but really Ryan Douglas Fisher couldn't do much else. That's about the only option he had. Elgin really sent the house. So that will back them up inside their own 4-yard line because they marked the intentional grounding from the spot.
Here's where the Boomers got to watch out, because we've really struggled this season when we gotten backed up like this.
Yep. So the 2nd and about a half mile from their own 4. As Douglas Fisher in the gun, this time Latal with him in the backfield. The tight end on the left side of the formation. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Douglas Fisher takes the snap. They fake the handoff, the little quick out, and drops. Looked like that was Graff trying to haul it in, but maybe thought about his steps after the catch, unfortunately. And that'll be an incompletion, 3rd and 26 for the Boomers.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what happened. He got a little too excited. He actually, I think he looked up and he saw that if he makes that catch, he's able to pick up
a few extra yards at least,
after the play, and unfortunately just got a little too excited.
So minute 16 remain in the half, 3rd and 26 for the Boomers as they trail the Owls. Douglas Fisher empty set, 2 receivers to the left, 2 to the right. Again, looking for the quick pass. This time, Graff able to come down with it. Skies forward. Nice gain to get them out of the shadow of their own end zone. Still not back to the original line of scrimmage, but it is up to about the 17-yard line. So a solid gain of 12 for the Boomers.
And like we said, those are the things that, you're down like this. This possession is going to end in a punt again, but on film, you can go back and look and say, hey, look at the way you ran this route, Ryan. Look at when you made that throw. And work on those things in practice to continue to build upon.
Well, that's the thing. If it's there against a team like Elgin,
right?
It's bound to probably have some merit to look at going forward against a Cache, a Douglas, a Bridge Creek, a Weatherford of that nature. So we'll be 4th and 14 for the Boomers, as Elgin did burn a timeout to stop the clock with 1:10 to go in the half. Smith & Co. Auction and Realty, they're Oklahoma's real estate and land auction experts. They're your #1 choice for all your land auctions and real estate needs. Call them 580-254-3975 or email Ira at smithcorealestate.com. Smith & Co. Auction and Realty, powering Boomer sports throughout this season. This Graff will be on to punt for the Boomers. His own territory here will be about his own 5. Make sure you get a clean snap. Does. And a bit of a lower kick, trying to get it to bounce, but Morrison able to catch it like a line drive. Just look that one in. Good coverage, though, that time by the Boomers to be able to stop him for a short return. Elgin, though, still in field position at about the Boomer 40, and it looked like Latal may be on the coverage, and a couple flags late deep in the backfield.
Yeah, great job by Cooper to, to recognize that, somebody had him blocked, but all he had to do is make it a little bit of a shift, and was able to dive back and get the tackle.
Yeah, there's a few flags that came out late. See what they are. Might be dead ball. We'll see as they discuss. Personal foul on the. Oh. On the receiving team. Might be offsetting here. Unsportsmanlike on the outs, so double on the outs.
Well.
And unsportsmanlike on the Boomers. So ultimately should be offsetting.
Now the question is, do they take one of the penalties but offset the two?
Yeah, because Elgin did have 2 on them. So that might be the discussion here. That's where we just need a, how in the NFL you got the ref, you just bring in. That's where we just need a Leland.
We need Leland to be on speaker at all times.
The white-haired white hat. Just bring him.
Leland, what do we do here?
And he'll usually text me sometimes if we're wrong. So, so there's 2 penalties on Elgin, dead ball fouls, 1 on the Boomers. We'll see how they mark it off. For now, Elgin looks like they're setting up 1st and 10. Be around the Woodward 31, so he's a little further than I thought up the field. Or excuse me, that's my bad. They still got it flipped to where the Boomers are 4th down. So it would be about the 39. That's where Elgin would take over before any penalty. The Boomer 39.
I think the refs, the 2 guys that are going to mark it off, are trying to figure out what they're. And there they are. They're going to back. They are going to mark off 15
for Elgin. So you offset the one penalties, but then the second one on Elgin is what winds up being marked off. So that does push them back.
Ely, were you able to get an eye on what may have happened that caused those penalties?
It was actually there was a scuffle during the play. It was number 24, Bryce Martin for Elgin. And
usually one of their
number
returns.
28, Sam Jochna was, and number 4 for our team.
That'd be Austin Rowland, young junior. So he was on the punt coverage. So they got a little tied up, a little extracurricular. A couple of Elgins on one Boomer.
I think that that chippiness has been going on because if you remember in the previous one, I said there was some
extracurricular
chirping going on, and Austin Rowland was the one who was in on that as well. So I think there's probably something that's kind of been going back and forth a little bit. The officials were finally able to catch it, and it might have been more to calm it down.
Yeah, you try to get control of that.
Calm it down. And
for sure. And guys, hey, you're out there on a Friday night. It's Friday Night Lights. You're trying to make the plays, so that's how it goes. So Elgin, takes over 1st and 10 at their own 46 with 1:02 remaining. They lead 42-0 over the Boomers. In the gun, it's Laura. The pistol, fake the handoff, looking to pass. Enough for a deep shot over the middle. And the catch made by Brody Morrison downfield. He does fall down, plays dead, but Morrison with a big catch down to the 10-yard line. They did that against Newcastle to start the game last week. That same type look where you just send Morrison on a deep, deep post. And it connects again.
Yeah, the ball's a little overthrown, but he was able to kind of reach out there and make that grab. for the completion.
So about a 45-yard gain for them, and they find Morrison again, this time on the left side of the formation for a tunnel screen and a touchdown.
We got a flag.
The flag does come in late, so Elgin was trying to go quick and score. They did. We'll see what the penalty is here. See what it is. It did come out very late. Didn't look like it was, not sure if it was in the run of play or not. That's the question.
I think it may have been in the play. Yeah.
Right at the tail end, maybe. So the touchdown wiped off the board on the penalty. It is against the Owls. So another, Eric, you mentioned this a couple times before. It's one of those random just holds that you don't need, right?
Yeah, that's exactly what that was. And again, it looked like where they threw that flag down, and it may have been just the delay from seeing it to getting the flag out, but it looked like where they threw that flag down. I didn't see anything.
I mean, it was definitely near the goal line because the ball's only at the 11, so you essentially only lose 2 yards after where you marked the hold off. So, I mean, yeah, it was way up the field. So first and goal for Elgin from the Boomer 11. Lower back to pass, looking to the right side, has Kasemeyer short on the out route, tries to make a man miss. Good shoestring tackle by Mason Bourne to prevent the touchdown as he gets down to about the 2, as Elgin trying to go quick and execute 9-yard pass.
And that's the thing, no matter what the score is, you've still got to go out there and do your job. Mason didn't allow him to get in, didn't shut down.
And Laura hands off to Ritzenmeyer in for the touchdown from 2 yards out. That time the hole there, and Meyer able to take it in.
And I hate to be that guy, but at what point do you start saying, do you call it piling it on?
Oh no, I think for Elgin, and again they kind of did this to Newcastle. You race out, you build that lead in the second half. They really kind of took the foot off the gas. I think that's kind of where they're at. First half, you play it through with your ones, knowing the reps are limited there. And then I think second half we'll see them.
I kind of think where I'm at on that is you went through this period where it looked like, you're just you're starting to rely on your running game, you're running the clock, and then all of a sudden, right before half, let's go pound, let's go deep with a big play to add another touchdown.
And I could get that, but I do also think how many opportunities do you get for a 2-minute drill early in the season that matters, right? So they look at it as, okay, it's a rep of a 2-minute or less drill regardless of the score.
Right.
So I don't see anything malicious. Now, if they're doing it in the second half and you come out and it's, really going, then it's like, okay. But first half to me is kind of just fair game. As long as you're not onside like Tennessee was against Kent State.
And I definitely somewhat get that, but honestly, if you're at home, to me, that's also a different story.
Oh, yeah. No, I can see where somebody could get, take that a certain way. But you got to remember, though, too, you cannot replace a live rep in game. In football, you only get so many of those live reps against any competition. So it's just, I think from a coaching standpoint, nothing intentional per se. I guess what I'm trying to say by the Elgin staff, they're viewing it from their light.
I'm not necessarily saying it's
an
intentional thing. I think, but you also got to look at the whole. The whole.
They're thinking goal ball, though. They don't care about that. I promise you.
Oh no, but
this is in a grand scheme of a full season.
But I also don't see they're going to have too many close games this year, too.
Right, for sure. As on the return, Latal trying to cut back across the field, gets to the 20 to the 25. Found a little hole there to get some yards. The Boomers take it with 7 seconds remaining in the half. Might just go for a simple play here and take it to the half as they get to their own 25. As it'll be Douglas Fisher on the field. It looks like Boomers just essentially going to kind of line up with a deep, I wouldn't say victory formation, but this is just going to be a run, maybe even a kneel by Douglas Fisher to take this into the half. As Douglas Fisher in the pistol, but Latal very deep behind him. And sure enough, there's the knee down by the Boomers, and that will take it into the half. The Boomers trail Elgin 49-0 at the break. We'll step aside, come back with the halftime show. You're listening to Boomer Football on Z92 and Boomer TV.
Are you looking for a bank that understands your needs and works as hard as you do? Welcome to Bank of Western Oklahoma, proudly serving our area since 1908, offering free checking with no monthly fees and convenient mobile banking. Whether you're in Cordell, Elk City, Weatherford, Woodward, or any of our 6 locations, we're always nearby. Bank of Western Oklahoma.
Who can solve this equation?
Ooh! Me.
Anyone else? Fine. Jake from State Farm. Again.
Right. It's the personal price plan theorem. If you bundle your home and auto, that can equal an affordable price just for you. Bundling. Just another way to save with the personal price plan. Like a good neighbor.
Seem like a thankless job, but you know better. It's the little things that matter most. That's why you'll appreciate the enduring value of the Michelin Defender tire. Designed for doers like you, Michelin's longest-lasting tire keeps you on the go longer, so you have one less thing to worry about on your next road trip. Stop in today for miles of uncompromised safety and performance. Visit your local Michelin dealer. High Plains Tire at 2220 Main in Woodward.
And back at the half here at Boomer Stadium, the Elgin Owls raced out to the advantage in that first half. They do lead 49-0. And, just looking at a bit of that recap, Eric, early, the Boomers did get a turnover, or not turnover, but a stop, I should say, for the Owls offense that first drive. But after that, they did not go a drive without scoring. So Elgin turned it on, scored on 7 straight drives after that first one. And again, a lot of it's just clean execution. I mean, the Boomers aren't just handing it to them in a lot of instances. It's just Elgin executing at a really high level right now, it seems.
Yeah, they're some of those runs that Myers had, some of those big runs. Yeah, there's been some missed tackles in there, but a lot of it is still they're still doing their job in executing. They're allowing him to get downfield into the secondary, into the intermediate range because of the execution they're doing in the front. So, the Boomers could do a little bit better job of tackling, but, I don't think that's necessarily the problem for the Boomers tonight. I think it's just this Elgin team is just too good and too explosive.
Yeah, and that's part of it for sure. Really on the field, you're seeing there. I mean, it seems like guys are still playing hard, but sometimes, it's tough to stop a moving train like Elgin is right now.
Yeah, they're trying as best they can, but they have to. One thing they need to do is realize who they're playing. I mean, this Elgin team is highly respected across the state. I mean, they've got, like we've talked about, 2 D1 commits. I'm sure got a couple other people who probably play college ball some other places.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Just realizing who you're playing. Don't get down. Like I said earlier, just try to have fun, and just ride it out.
Definitely. So a quick look at the 4A District 1 school board. We'll get to a couple more after we step aside here in a second, but some interesting things happening. The Custer County conflict going on. Weatherford had that lead over undefeated Clinton, currently ranked top 5 in the Oklahoman, 14-10 at the half. That's where it's at right now. Last update, they were starting the third quarter. Douglas Bridge Creek has been kind of interesting. Bridge Creek took that 28-0 lead into the half. Bridge
Who can solve this equation?
Ooh! Me.
Anyone else? Fine. Jake from State Farm. Again.
Right. It's the personal price plan theorem. If you bundle your home and auto, that can equal an affordable price just for you. Bundling. Just another way to save with the personal price plan. Like a good neighbor.
There's nothing like being from Western Oklahoma. It's family and community. It's spring storms and winter wheat. It's fall football and summer baseball. And there's one bank that really understands our area. Bank of Western Oklahoma. We've been locally owned from the beginning, and we still are. When you need a bank that understands your unique life, Choose Bank of Western Oklahoma, the bank that works as hard as you do. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Tires are put to the test every day, everywhere around the world. Michelin invents the tire that stays safe even worn with unique Evergrip technologies. New Michelin Premier. Safe when new, safe when worn.
This back-to-school season, give your home the connection it deserves with Go Pioneer Fiber Internet. Experience the power of Wi-Fi 6 technology for smoother streaming, gaming, and learning. And with the Go Pioneer Smart Wi-Fi app, managing your home network is a breeze. Choose from multiple plans with symmetrical speeds for lightning-fast uploads and downloads. Get your family school-ready with Go Pioneer Fiber Internet. Sign up today at gopioneer.com.
Tired of complicated Wi-Fi management? Go Pioneer Smart Wi-Fi makes it easy. With Go Pioneer Smart Wi-Fi, you can set your Wi-Fi password, view all your connected devices, and even run speed tests all from your phone. Need to set up parental controls? No problem. Simple, smart, secure. Stay connected and in control with Go Pioneer Smart Wi-Fi. Visit gopioneer.com to learn more.
This back-to-school season, give your home the connection it deserves with Go Pioneer Fiber Internet. Experience the power of Wi-Fi 6 technology for smoother streaming, gaming, and learning. And with the Go Pioneer Smart Wi-Fi app, managing your home network is a breeze. Choose from multiple plans with symmetrical speeds for lightning-fast uploads and downloads. Get your family school-ready with Go Pioneer Fiber Internet. Sign up today at gopioneer.com.
Six in the third quarter over Hollis.
Just scored, actually. I see 20-6 now.
Yeah, it's 26. Okay, and then Sealing last night, I believe, wasn't it? Sealing at Caddo. Was that game last night, or is that?
No, that was supposed to be tonight.
Okay,
so Sealing whooped up on Caddo.
It's 46-0. It's the final there. O'Keene, this is not a surprise. It's 44-16 over Pioneer Pleasantville. Let's see here.
Last night, Pond Creek Hunter dominated Ringwood 60-14. One that's an interesting clash. Again, that Enid area, Covington Douglas hosting Garber, two undefeated teams there. Garber leading 12-8 right now in the third quarter. So we've gotten B2 a little bit.
Kind of scrolling through here on B2, see if there's anybody that. Last night, Cherokee Shaddy.
Yep, Shad got the dub there, 38-8. So that was kind of the big one. In Class C, Bedford, they rolled Oaks 56-16. Cumberland Hillsdale, unfortunately, had to forfeit their season, so Tyrone, I guess, picks up the
2-0 win.
Yeah, the forfeit win there. Buffalo sharing Mutual in the battle in the third quarter. Buffalo on top 18-12 in that one. Timberlake leading Balco Forgan 32-6 at half. Winoka all over Beaver 48-8 at the half there as well.
And if you ever go to an 8-man game, those are some of the most frustrating games when you've hit that 40-point mark but you still got to go into the second half because you haven't got to that 45 mark. So,
well, not to say the coaches would intentionally do it, but you do factor in, okay, we need to get some reps with these younger guys, and there are times where that's just part of the deal, right? You take that advantage.
Yeah, and again, it's good to see the some of the, because Winoka has struggled in some games, so it is good to see them actually get an opportunity to go in the second half and try to do some things.
Definitely. So, of course, I do want to mention back at Boomer Stadium, as we've been talking about tonight, Military Appreciation Night and pregame. Listen in as the Boomers honored veteran Alicia Williams-Reed, teacher at Woodward Public Schools, and got to see her honored pregame for her service. Very special. You touched on, not only a cool deal for our Boomer fans, but the Elgin fans that travel. They've got people that have served, or they've served themselves, so always great to see that. We've got the big American flags posted up on the cranes on the opposite sides of us, the visitor sides. And, I do want to mention Enid Deer Creek. Enid had a really good effort against Stillwater the other week. Stillwater was able to pull it off in the second half. Well, right now, Deer Creek in control over the Plainsmen, 21-0 there. So, Deer Creek very talented, but this Enid group, don't sleep on them. They've got some playmakers for sure.
They're definitely, I think they're definitely a playoff team. They'll, as they continue to get better, their program is growing. I know it probably gets annoying. I talk about culture.
Yeah.
They're a program that they had a change a couple years ago, a coaching change. Now
Coach Woods went to Texas, right. Tyler, Texas, took over there after a successful year with a very good senior group.
Right. So now they're trying to make that change in the culture with a new coaching staff, all that kind of stuff before last season, and now you're starting to see the fruits of those seeds that were sown last season.
Well, and to that point, we had Coach Cameron Condor of Enid here, Classic Bowl, guy that had been an offensive coordinator for a few years there in Enid, and he talked about that early season. Yes, they had great success with Coach Woods, and they liked that time, what they did there. But now for Coach Condor, it's an opportunity to do some things a little different. Not a wholesale change, but just make some of those slight adjustments. And he's talked about developing those young guys, right? That's very important for him, is to reach down and, similar to what Coach Gordon talks about all the time. Hey, I want to get everybody lined up from the low league on up. So that's something that he expects to continue to only help what they, accomplish. And Enid's a tough area. It's much like Woodward in the sense that you've got these smaller schools around, and instead of in Elgin or, at Colorado or somebody, you can't really pull from a vast net of,
right.
Well, hey, this guy's kind of on the fringe of our area, we could get him in here. That doesn't happen in Northwest Oklahoma.
And that's also something that I don't think a lot of
even small town
people understand. When you get into Enid, Woodward, even Alva some, where
Jake
those kids are all playing together
right.
from an
it's
early
the personal price plan theorem.
Third and fourth grade,
if
all
you
of them
bundle
together.
your home,
a couple years ago, I kind of was thinking about this
can equal an affordable price. Just for you. Bundling. Just another way to save with the personal price plan.
Carter, that group of kids came in I had them as part of the 8th grade
team. There's nothing like being from Western Oklahoma. It's family,
most of those kids
and community. It's spring storms
for a while.
And winter
you don't
wheat.
always get that.
It's fall football
because when
and
you have
summer
kids
baseball
and stuff like that.
And there's one bank that really understands our area.
You get a lot of
Bank
kids
of Western Oklahoma.
Teams,
We've been locally owned from the beginning, and we still are. When you need a bank that understands your unique life, choose Bank of Western Oklahoma, the bank that works as hard as you do. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Mr. Williams, Mr. Elson, helping lead that in conjunction with Coach Moore.
Right.
And so,
tires are put to the test every day, everywhere around the world.
Right. Coach White mentioned that, like, hey, when he took over,
Michelin invents the tire that stays safe even worn with unique Evergrip technologies.
Playoff to title contender. And it took
new Michelin Premier, safe when new, safe when worn.
3 years now. Last 2 years, and this year they've seen the fruits of that. They go 8-4 and 5-8 the first year, 8-3, I should say. Then you're undefeated in the playoffs last year, and then you're a title contender for you this year. And a lot of that, outside of getting the Tennessee commits coming in, a lot of these kids have played together. They developed through the program, and you could just see. I mean, we've seen the chemistry in the first half. They are executing at a high clip.
Yeah, and, that's always one of my worries whenever a new coach comes into Woodward is, the expectations that, sometimes are put on Woodward coaches because when, like I think about when I was in school, we were a playoff team every 4 years. We're not a perennial, haven't been a perennial state championship type of program, but you want to see us competing for playoffs every year, and we've kind of gone through some struggles, but there's still that expectation of that you need to go out there and compete for the playoffs, but you got to build the program first. And I think Coach Gordon and his guys are doing the right thing of trying to do it at an early age. They've had their hands in 3rd and 4th grade, 5th and 6th grade, middle school. We've had some coaches in the past that very hands-off experience.
Yeah, until you got to the high school or middle school, didn't really know that.
Even in middle school, you would have high school coaches here in the past that wouldn't even watch the middle school game. Well, you're never going to build a program, and so I'm excited to see the future of Boomer football because of the way they've been trying to build the program.
And Coach Gordon and his staff, they're at the little league practices, they're at the middle school practices. It's not just they'll show up for the high school stuff. No, they're everywhere when it comes to the Boomer sports side.
And I'll say this too, Boomer Pride. They have
yes,
those guys, Coach Arvey especially. He's kind of the one who leads it, but they're all very much involved in Boomer Pride, and that's something you are seeing the fruits of those seeds that are being sown across the board in other programs as well. Woodward kids tend to be undersized. Basketball, we're undersized.
Football, I don't know about this year, but this year might be an exception. But I get what you're saying.
We got
generally.
the height, we don't have
muscle, the meat.
We don't have the muscle, the meat, things like that. But those kids are now getting in there and working.
Yeah.
And bodies are maturing. I think about especially Cash Carter, man. When I saw him, I saw him last
day difference. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, even from the first of his freshman year to baseball season, he came out in baseball season, I was like, holy cow.
Yeah.
This kid got big since football season, and then then we go into this year, and I'm like, he looks like a football player. You know what I mean? Like he looks like the guy who can play the part.
Well, and even you look at Ryan Douglas Fisher, a guy that he's not the biggest, he's never going to be. But if you look at the difference for him at the start of his last year, start of his junior year until now, even he's filled out well, right. For what he can. So that's encouraging to see. You got some guys, especially those linemen, that could fill out those frames a little bit more. The younger, that's the goal to get them kind of there. So definitely exciting times in terms of that. Great Plains Bank, Heritage, Trust, Respect, those are the things that make Great Plains Bank great. With deep roots across Oklahoma and Texas, they are in touch with the communities in which their customers live and work. Great Plains Bank, powering Boomer sports throughout this season. And guys, we've got a couple minutes before the teams kind of get back on, start warming up. So as we look at that, what do you want to see this Boomer team do in the second half? Obviously, scores 49-0. Anything could happen, but realistically, is the goal just to go out, try to execute play-by-play, drive-by-drive? Do you start maybe working in some of those younger guys for reps? How do you approach that thing?
I think you could do what you were saying, working some younger guys, but I think something you really want to focus on is just playing some complementary football. Kind of had a lot of penalties hurt us. On that first drive, like we talked about, we had the first down, penalties hurt us. Penalties have hurt us on defense. We get the stop, and then we get the call after the play. We've had a bunch of false starts, some offsides, I just think playing good execution football, we know we're playing a very, very, very good opponent, so just go in there, try to execute, build for these next conference games coming up, try to get some wins down the road.
Well, Neely, you've been there on the player side. When you play a good team and you do go out and execute a bit, does that not really kind of confidence-wise boost you up a touch? Say, oh, okay, we can do some things.
Yeah, and especially when you do those things against a good team, you think you can do them against any team. That builds confidence going into the next week. You're like, dang, we just – in Woodward's case, if they do get some things rolling, they're like, hey, we had some things rolling against Elgin. Yeah. They're number 3 team in the state, so whoever you go play next week, you're like, Elgin could beat this team. So I think we could have a good shot to get some things rolling against them.
For sure. As the Elgin band did come out and perform during a half, do it a Michigan if you're looking for the Boomer band. that need to stick around post-game because they will be performing that. We'll try to carry a good portion of that as long as we can, as long as it's not 10, 15 minutes after the game on that.
I was just pointing down here. It looks like Cash is.
Cash Carter warming up a little bit
on the sideline. So
it goes back to the point. Maybe you work in some of those younger guys, and Cash kind of in a spot where he started the season as a starter. They kind of flipped the script a little bit after a few games in the name of, hey, we're trying to make adjustments that's best for the team. And I've talked to him since then. I think for the most part, it's tough on a kid initially, but he's just a sophomore. He realizes, I think now after a couple weeks, okay, I've got time. You just got to keep grinding and working, right?
Yeah.
Because he is still the future of this team.
Exactly. I mean, he is, by all indications, going to be QB1 heading into next season.
Right.
Simply out of his experience of having some game reps. Maybe somehow some amazing D1 guy can move in, and you can't say no. But Cash has the ability.
Yeah.
And I think him getting out here and having an opportunity, because the twos on an Elgin team are still probably going to be pretty solid.
Yeah, they're going to be good.
And so, him having an opportunity to get out here, get some new reps in, maybe build some of that confidence up to where, hey, if they feel like it's a situation where we could throw in a package that could pick up something, hey, let's throw that package in there. Cash go through the ball, get the ball downfield for us. Maybe you get that confidence, and we can just allow that new wrinkle into the Boomer offense.
And we'll get to see him straight away if he does indeed come in, because the Boomers will receive to start the second half. Had a funny conversation at the coach's show with Coach Gordon about the Alva game, because we knew we weren't deja vuing, and we kicked it twice. Well, there was a little bit of miscommunication on the coin toss that made the Boomers kick to start the second half. Pretty confident that was not the case here tonight. So they'll get to receive to start the second half and get the offense out there and see what reps they could get rolling. Oh, man.
And for Boomer fans out there, also, I want to say that was a pass interference at the end of the game.
We did get some confirmation on that.
I have a screenshot on my computer that was a pass interference. I had to get confirmation. I saw a video on Facebook, so I made sure to analyze that video because it still bugs me.
It does, because it's football, right? We talk about you control what you can control, and that's something that you just can't control. You don't have the ability to throw flags if you're the coaching staff, so it's just you got to play however they call it.
Well, and I think what bugs me so much is just because we have struggled executing early on, especially on passing plays.
Right.
That was a pretty good thrown ball.
It was a great half of good offense.
It was. I mean, we were moving the ball. Colt did a good job of going up to get that ball. And again, there was a minute left, and that would put us on like 25 or 30-yard line too. And so it just kind of adds that little bit of frustration to it. But again, like we said, we saw some things against Alva that was very encouraging. And honestly, there have been times where we've seen some things tonight, that's been very encouraging. So I'm still excited moving forward despite what the score is tonight.
Yeah, this is one of those where you can't let the score fool you, right? Just because we've talked about what the top end of what Elgin's on right now. They've got everything rolling. Not too long ago, they were in the spot Woodward was in terms of trying to establish all that. So their patience has paid off. So now if you're Woodward, you're trying to establish that. And you've seen some of that growth from week 1 to week 4 now. So can you continue on it? We'll find out in the second half as both teams return to the sideline and ready to go. As it'll be Aiden Delgado kicking off for the Elgin Owls. Deep to return for the Boomers will be Cooper Littall and Colt Moore after they break the huddle with Coach.
I think the question's really going to be, does the Boomer coaching staff keep Ryan Douglas Fisher in at receiver, or do they say, okay, for obviously it looks like Cash is going to come in for quarterback, keep Ryan out, don't allow him to
take any more big hits.
Any hits. potentially have an injury moving forward if you're still expecting him, still planning on using him as, as your main quarterback going into the heart of district play.
Yeah, and that's the other big part of this night, right? Hey, get out healthy no matter what. That's kind of the other big thing.
Well, in fact, as I say that, I look down, Ryan's completely out of pads.
So there you go.
So
Delgado ready to kick this one off for Elgin. Kind of a short setup, maybe skying this because the Boomers have had some decent success on the returns. And it is a bit of a sky kick, more pointed toward Boomer Lima is dropped and Elgin recovers it. So Elgin able to get the ball to start, just kind of pointed to that guy and said, okay, don't want to kick it deep to the Boomers returners, and we couldn't jump on it. So Elgin actually gets the first possession of the second half.
Yeah, that was, unfortunately, that was freshman Reese Durkee that tried to catch that, let it go through his hands. He walked off, head down, and Coach Gordon turned around and was like, no, get back out there. You're one of our defensive guys. Get out there, do your job, and make up for it.
Definitely so. So Elgin takes over 1st and 10 at the Boomer 30-yard line to begin the third quarter. And it is running clock in the second half. Do want to note that. So clock will only stop, I believe, on change of possession. Maybe even not change the possession, actually, because that was technically change of possession.
Kind of depends on the coaches and the officials, kind of what all's decided.
Fair enough, yeah, what was agreed to. And Elgin does have their twos in, as we'll see a new quarterback for the Owls stepping in. And Gabe Rush. He'll hand off up the gut as they'll give it to David Cardoza. Cardoza with a nice couple of moves. He gets to the 10, the 5, and gets into the end zone for the touchdown. No flags on the play. So even their twos pretty solid as well. Cardoza explodes for a 30-yard run.
Yeah, some of that may be the way that the kickoff went, because there's a lot of heads down before that play even started. So Boomers need to get over the sideline, get the defense together, figure out a way to fire them back up.
So Cardoza, the senior, able to bust for the run as Elgin extends their lead to begin the second half. Delgado for the extra point attempt and does make it. Jesswell Chevrolet scoreboard puts it at Elgin 56. Woodward still scoreless all night. 10:40 or so left in the third quarter. Jesswell Chevrolet in Shattuck. It's where honesty is not just a word, it's how they drive every deal. JesswellChevrolet.com or visit, JesswellChevy.com. Call them at 580-938-2122. Do want to also mention our halftime stats brought to you by High Plains Tire. Visit High Plains Tire at 2220 Main Street, Woodward. Is where your dollar goes further. Appreciate both powering Boomer Sports all season long. So the Boomers will get another chance on offense here after finally get their chance on offense, I should say. As it's still Cooper Latal, Colt Moore back deep to receive. Latal on the left side, Moore on the right side. Delgado teeing it up. As the Boomers may be going with a bit more of a hands look kind of in the middle, understanding that Elgin's committed to kicking away from the Boomers returners who have had some decent success. Delgado again set up for the short kick. And this one another pointed sky kick, just going straight for a fair catch, caught there by Colin Bourne. So the Boomers take over about their 30-yard line on offense.
Yeah, I think that's a good job. They basically take it out there and make that catch. Don't try to do anything special. We need to work on some stuff. And so I think, that was a planned fair catch before the ball was even kicked.
Oh yeah. So the Boomers take over about the 28 is where they'll mark it. We do see the sophomore Cash Carter in at quarterback for Woodward, as he'll step in for Ryan Douglas Fisher. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. As Carter with the fake of the handoff, going for the quick pass. That one through the hands of Cole Moore. And did Elgin come up with the interception? No, incomplete. Moore tried to catch that one. Kind of just bounced off the shoulder a bit awkwardly. A heater from Cash Carter.
Yeah, that was hard thrown ball, and I think that kind of caught Cole on. And a lot of that, it may come down to the difference of the way the ball is thrown between the two quarterbacks, because Cash does have a strong arm, and I think that kind of got to Cole a little bit quicker than he anticipated. went off his chest.
9:25 to go in the third quarter. The Boomers have it 2nd and 10 after the incompletion. Again, Carter, the fake handoff inside. This time a well-delivered ball. Finds his man about for a 4-yard gain. Tries to see who got slung down on the catch here. Looked like Luke Parker. Jack Graff, sorry.
I think you saw that one.
I saw the one, yeah. So about a 4-yard gain for the Boomers, and Carter able to zip that one in there.
But that's one thing we didn't see from, Cash in the first couple of games is he didn't get the ball out very quickly, very often.
Right.
And the first 2 plays, he's gotten the ball out. He knew exactly where he was going to go, got the ball out quickly. He had opportunities both times.
And decision-making, we've seen on the college level, not an easy maturation process. We've seen that with, both OU and OSU. So 3rd and 6 for the Boomers at their own 32. Carter in the gun. He's going to roll out to the left side, trying to find Parkhurst, who comes back for it. Can't quite haul it in. Good diving effort for Parkhurst. Not a bad ball from Carter, just a little bit through the hands of Parkhurst.
Yeah, that was actually a well-thrown ball, and he put that in the only place that anybody could get the ball, and that was for his receiver, Parkhurst, and it just went through his hands.
Good effort by both guys. Just couldn't quite connect. Would have been about that first down marker. So we'll see Graff on to punt for the Boomers as the clock ticks down to about 8:05.
But I will say the Boomer coaching staff was quick to get out there to tell Cash, hey, good job. That was a good thrown ball. Don't worry about that.
And Graff, this one, a bit of an awkward punt off the side of his foot. A kind of a foot pass, if you will, as it goes past the 50 to the 45. I don't know how else to describe that one.
Yeah.
Pass off his foot. As Elgin will take over 1st and 10 at their own 45-yard line. Compass Athletics, from sports equipment to championship trophies and everything in between. Visit them at 2024 Main Street in Woodward. Call them 580-256-7045. It's Compass Athletics, powering Boomer Sports all season long on KMZ FM Woodward. As back at quarterback for the Owls again will be Gabe Rush, the senior. He'll hand off this time to Newback, trying to get out to the left side and spun down by the Boomers for minimal gain. That'll be Dalvin Clark, the sophomore, 6'1", 186, solid-looking body there. Gain of only about 2 for Elgin.
Levi Harris got out there, got the tackle.
So 2nd and 8 for Elgin, as they're not in a rush. Taking plenty of the play clock, no need to hurry for them on the huddle.
This is tough as a defense. You know when they're running the clock, you got to be ready no matter what.
Got to stay locked in. That's tough.
You can't get lulled to sleep and allow something to happen.
Rush in the pistol, 3 receivers to the right side, man in the backfield with them. Rush with the quarterback draw, has a lead blocker out to that right side, turning on some speed, the 50 to the 45, the 40, still plowing forward about the 35 in Boomer territory. We'll see where they marked him out. And Gabe Rush lives up to the name, showed some speed on the rush.
He was quick getting out there.
As it looks to about the 37 in Boomer territory.
That little speed option, and you kind of look. You want to be like, well, is that something we're going to see in the future from them? But he's a senior.
Yeah.
It's just getting an opportunity to get
a little playing time.
Get a little bit of playing time as the ones get off the field, not potentially get injured.
1st and 10 for Elgin at the Boomer 37 after the 16-yard game. A little motion, almost a drop on the handoff as the Boomers blow it up in the backfield. They are able to drag him for a loss. On the low reverse was John Lohman, the sophomore, and he had nowhere to go as the Boomers were all over.
Yeah, Colin Bourne, Reese Sturkey, and on there Levi Harris. Again, we've talked about this a lot. I just named off 2 sophomores and a freshman. And we talked about your 2s for Elgin are still going to be pretty solid.
And they're still upperclassmen because these are guys that been through the program, and it's highly competitive. I mean, they've got twice the numbers you do.
Right, exactly. So, you're still going to see some positive things here in the second half from these Boomers.
So 2nd and 15 for Elgin after the loss. Rush in the gun, 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Snap handoff again to Clark. Off the right side, finds a little bit of some space, but the Boomers in on him as he gets about a 4, maybe 5-yard gain.
Levi Harris, another solo tackle on that.
Good job to set that edge for Harris and corral Clark. They give him 6 officially, so 3rd and 9 we'll call it, as we're already down to 4:20 to go in the 3rd quarter. As remember, the clock is running. Boomer Band will be performing after the game. We'll try to bring that to you as it gets set up towards the end of our post game here. Catch a little bit of that. We'll make sure Ely's in a proper spot on the field to catch that for it. As far as the band goes.
And facing the booth.
So 3rd and 9, they'll say for Elgin. Rush with the handoff to a different back this time. Trying to get to that right side. Lowers the shoulder. Boomers meet him, force him out of bounds. Short of the stick for Elgin. That was Gage Elam, the junior, on the rush.
Yeah, can't quite tell who actually stood him up.
Yeah, on
Trip
that far
Bates
side.
Trip Bates was in on that. Brody Province looks like he's back out there. And I think Brody may have been the one who delivered the initial hit to kind of stand him up, and then Trip came in and finished him off.
So a 6-yard gain for Elgin forces the 4th and 3 as we get to 3:20 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Owls lead 56-0 over the Boomers.
Unfortunately for the Boomers, this is kind of 4-down territory for Elgin.
It is. Not really a spot where they take a field goal. The punt would be kind of useless.
Right.
Risk a touchback. So Rush in the pistol, 2 to the left, 1 to the right. Snap, handoff inside, a little bit of a hole, cuts up. Helmet does come off from an Elgin player as Boomers try to stand him up, but still enough for the first down as it looked like Elam back on the carry, and the flag does come out because you had a player playing with their helmet off.
Yeah, that's, a lot of times that's an immediate dead ball.
Yeah,
they immediately blow it. But the way his helmet came off, in the backfield pretty much. When we say his helmet came off, it flew off. It popped up in the air.
Looked like one of the Elgin linemen had lost the helmet early in the play. Might have been Brody Ballou, the sophomore. See how the call goes. As it gets Elgin. I believe this will essentially back up the play. Not be the first down for the Owls. They'll force it to a 4th and long from that 4th and 3.
Trying to figure out what the official call of that was.
The technical term. Now Elgin's going to have to punt with the penalty yardage. So as that makes it 4th about 13 for Elgin, it backed him up to the 40 instead of the first down. So 15-yard penalty about. The Boomers.
Yeah, failure. Equipment failure, basically.
Right.
It's actually the signal that Whitehead actually gave us a little bit different than what our chart is up here. That's what I was throwing.
Close enough.
But, yes.
And Donnelly with the punt for the Owls. Decent one. Hang time. Fair catch called for by the Boomers and filled it cleanly. Looks like Cooper Latal on the punt return. They'll take over 1st and 10 inside their own 15. The Boomers do come up with the Pioneer defensive stand. Unleash tomorrow's potential with Pioneer Fiber Internet and get speed and reliability. Surf, stream, stay connected with Pioneer Fiber. The Boomers, appreciative of Pioneer, sponsoring the defensive stands all season long as they'll take over 1st and 10. It looked like fair catch about the 13-yard line or so, maybe the 12. Here in the 3rd quarter, 2:20 remaining. As Carter in the gun for the Boomers. And we got a whistle, and not sure if it was offsides or a false start. Somebody moved early.
Yeah, I'm not sure what, because the receivers actually didn't move at all out here on the near side.
And it's on Elgin, so offsides on Elgin. So I help with the Boomers, moved them up a little bit.
And so I think maybe the receivers, all 3, saw that, hey, it's going to be a dead ball anyway, so.
5-yard penalty makes it 1st and 5 for Woodward. As we get down to 2 minutes remaining in the 3rd quarter, Owls lead big. Carter in the shotgun has 4 receivers to the right side of the formation, tight end to the left. Carter back to pass. Under some pressure, Mealy tries to pull it and run. Does get almost back to the line of scrimmage. Not much there to work with. Carter smartly tried to pull and take it, but Elgin just a good open field tackle.
Yeah, it was so quick. I'm not quite sure if that was a designed.
It was like maybe a design draw, yeah.
But at the same time, even if it wasn't, a great job by Cash to recognize that, hey, man, there's guys in my throwing lane already. Because that's really what it was. He was wanting to go here to his right side where the 3 Boomer receivers are. And they blew it up. There was already hands in his way. So maybe he just quickly pulled it in. And
got what he could get.
So 2nd and 5 for the Boomers as Carter in the gun, empty set, trips to the right, one to the left. Carter rolls to the right side, looking to pass, on the run, still scanning. Finds a guy back over the middle, looking for Graft, and that's incomplete. Kind of some traffic as well there. Elgin on the breakup. Making the breakup was Josh Adasola, the senior.
Yeah, I think that was one of those things where that was really his only opportunity to get some pick up some yards. Unfortunately, I think he looked at Jake just a little too long, and that allowed the defender to come in there and break it up.
This makes it 3rd and 5 for the Boomers. Clock down to 35 seconds in the quarter. As Boomers trying to get that first down. Carter in the gun. Trips to the right, one to the left. Tight end also to the left side. Carter sees the pressure getting ready to come. Takes the snap. Back to pass. Floods out. Pressure on him, and he'll get taken down by a couple of Elgin Owls. And that's just one of those defensive line stunts that looked like that freed that up.
Yeah, there's nothing anybody could do on that. It was almost immediately there was 3 guys in the backfield collapsing on Cash.
Tried to pull it down and take it. Did it, Mr. Carter. And that will be the end of the 3rd quarter as we head to the 4th. Boomers trail 56-0 here at Boomer Stadium. You're listening on Z92 and Boomer TV.
This back-to-school season, give your home the connection it deserves with Go Pioneer Fiber Internet. Experience the power of Wi-Fi 6 technology for smoother streaming, gaming, and learning. And with the Go Pioneer Smart Wi-Fi app, managing your home network is a breeze. Choose from multiple plans with symmetrical speeds for lightning-fast uploads and downloads. Get your family school-ready with Go Pioneer Fiber Internet. Sign up today at gopioneer.com.
Life never stops moving. Between the 30-minute commutes, daycare pickups, and that weekend trip to Grandma's, you're racking up the miles. What you need is a tire that can keep up, like the exceptionally long-lasting Michelin Defender tire. With an 80,000-mile warranty and the safety you expect, you can lose track of the miles and focus on what really matters, the memories made along the way. Stop in today at 2220 Main in Woodward to see your local Michelin dealer, High Plains Tire.
Are you looking for a bank that understands your needs and works as hard as you do? Welcome to Bank of Western Oklahoma, proudly serving our area since 1908, offering free checking with no monthly fees and convenient mobile banking. Whether you're in Cordell, Elk City, Weatherford, Woodward, or any of our 6 locations, we're always nearby. Bank of Western Oklahoma, where the Western Oklahoma spirit is alive and well. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Stadium as we begin the 4th quarter. Woodward did punt it as Jake Graff rolled it to about the, looks like Boomer 34, and that's where Elgin will take over with 11:30 to go in the ball game. The Owls lead 56-0. Had put in the backups, of course. As we'll see, I believe even a new quarterback for Elgin. So getting into QB3, that would be Jake Croft, the freshman. We're in 22. I like it, the double-digit QB. So Croft takes the snap. It's a handoff inside. The Boomers on it quickly, and Trip Bates able to sling down the running back. And that would be for Elgin on the carry. Sam Jokna, the sophomore, about 140-pound, 5'6". There's no gain on the play. Boomers force the 2nd and 10. Obviously, Elgin just going to their base, and if you're the Boomers, good chance to just say, hey, let's take these reps and, work on our basics too.
Yeah, we've talked about it. You're not going to see, many teams that are going to be the quality as Elgin. And a lot of people don't kind of forget about with Elgin too. They dropped down.
Yes, they were 5A the last couple of years.
Good 5A team.
Yes.
They dropped down to 4A. So
2nd and 10 as another handoff again to Jockna. Breaks a couple tackles, gets out to the 30 on the right side, inside it to about the 28-27. And Jockna with the 2nd effort picks up some yards. Brings up 3rd and about 4. Looked like Boomers had him initially, but in the backfield, they made a quick cut or two. That's something we've seen from these Elgin backs. Doesn't matter who it is, they've all got some solid footwork.
Yeah, no, I mean, overall, like even these backup offensive linemen. Now, I'll tell you this, the size difference between the ones and the twos on the offensive line is insane.
Yes.
Like, I mean, like Ely, you've got a good visual down there. it's two completely different teams between the 1s and the 2s for Elgin.
Yeah, that's a completely different point of view for me. I mean, they tower over me on the field, and I feel like I'm kind of on the same wavelength as them now.
So 3rd and about 4 for Elgin. Another handoff to Jochnick, and he's able to break a couple of tackles, get across the 25, down to near the 22. Does get enough for the first down. Another about 6 on the carry.
Yeah, this is where you want to see the Boomers do a little bit better job of tackling, because you're now at a point where, you know, you're getting the push, you know, on the snap. You're getting your guys into the backfield. You know, if you get a hand on them, you've got to wrap them up.
And Jochnick good on that footwork to kind of evade some of those defenders. That's one of those things that still, you got to make the tackle right at the end of the day. Got to get it done. Like I said, so 1st and 10 for Elgin. Ball on the 22 in Boomer territory. Down to 8:50 remaining in the game. As Croft, the quarterback, a little bit of a rough snap. He fumbles it. The Boomers immediately on him as he collects it back up, but a big loss. The late flag comes in.
I think we're out of face mask.
That's tough. As Croft had botched the snap. And the Boomers got him for a big loss, but the flag, you're right, going to be probably a face mask, and it is. So
I think it was kind of an incidental, kind of as he went down to get the ball, the Boomer, I believe it was Reese Starkey was actually the one who got his hand on the face mask, but he went down to wrap up, and unfortunately, as he went down to wrap up, he got his hand kind of up under the face mask, kind of pulled him up a little bit. So that's where the penalty came.
So make it 1st and short for Elgin on the penalty. So I call it a 7-yard penalty. Down to 8:30 left in the game as Croft and the pistol, the receiver each side. Back behind him is Jochna. Jochna on the carry again. This time gets a few yards just past the stick, maybe about the 12, maybe the 11. It gets enough for the first down. The Boomers got to him with the crowd, but not before he got that first.
Yeah, he met Kaysen Boren, though. Kaysen got him, made him pay basically right there, just past the line of scrimmage, and then a host of Boomers came in and kind of wrapped him up. But, you know, good job making the stop still.
So 1st and 10, 8 minutes remains. As Elgin threatening in the red zone against Woodward. Taking their time in the huddle. Look around at 4A District 1 again. Quick update, Elk City up on cash now 30-21 third quarter. Bridge Creek all over Douglas, 48-6 in the 4th. And get another one here in a second as Croft in the gun. A receiver each side. Again, Jochna on the carry. This time trying to bounce it out to right side. Boomers do string it out and take him down for no gain. Levi Harris on the initial contact. Looked like Mason Bourne able to come up with the tackle.
And again, that's what you want to see. You want to see the Boomers not giving up on plays. It felt like there were a few times in the first half where, you know, after they kind of get to that second area on the defense, they would start to give up a little bit. Now the Boomers are not giving up, and they're continuing to attack the football.
And Eric, how about this for your first big district upset? Weatherford wins the Custer County conflict, 21-10 over Clinton. Clinton was ranked top 5 in 4A according to Oklahoma and various publications coming to this one. So that's a big one for Weatherford, who was outside the top 10.
That just shows how tough our district really is.
Any night. As Croft takes the handoff again, Jochna up the gut, spinning out of a tackle, still keeping the feet moving, and gets it into the end zone for the touchdown, 12 yards out. Jochna just able to keep it moving on the carry. 7-play drive for Elgin there as they go 34 yards, and Sam Jochna, the backup back, able to get one. As Elgin extends their lead.
That's why they always coach, just keep moving your feet. I mean, because you never know.
Fundamentals are not short with this Elgin squad. We got a flag maybe coming out. Did Elgin have too many guys on the field? Because there's an equipment issue maybe on one of the Elgin players. Yep, equipment issue. It's not a flag. Looks like maybe equipment issue as a player goes off for the Owls. Yeah, so equipment issue there for the Owls as Delgado set to kick the extra point. And Delgado with the kick is good. So look at the Just Wells Chevrolet scoreboard. Elgin leads 6-3, over the Boomers. 5:45 remaining in the game. Just Wells Chevrolet in Shattuck, where honesty is not just a word, it is how they drive the deal, or drive every deal, I should say. Visit JustWellsChevy.com or call them at 580-938-2122. Just Wells Chevrolet scoreboard sponsor through the season. Boomer Dance team getting a shout out from Troy Harlan, PA, doing a good job.
Yeah, I think that's one thing that a lot of us in Woodward take for granted is how good our dance and cheer teams have been over the years, and so they are a huge part of football Friday nights here at Boomer Stadium. So I love seeing them being recognized.
They are truly, I mean, folks, when we say one of the best in the nation, we're not exaggerating. They go to national competitions. They succeed at a high level, obviously really good in state as well. And they're producing pros at this point. You've had a couple of Boomer Dance alumni now be picked up on, I believe, with the Eagles squad and
we have a
Thunder squad.
Now,
Yes. So producing pro talent is the Boomer Dance team. As Delgado with the sky kick again, this time targeted towards Graft on the right sideline, as he'll collect it and then just kind of step out of bounds about before the 30-yard line. The Boomers will take over 1st and 10. We'll see Cash Carter come back out for another drive for the Boomers, getting some of those reps in.
Yeah, for the Boomers again, we keep talking about it, but just continue to work. Try to clean up the few mistakes you've actually had. Because again, like we said, there really hasn't been many mistakes.
No turnovers in this game for the Boomers.
Exactly.
Just the penalties have been the only thing.
Well, I guess technically you can't say because on that.
Well, yeah, that's correct.
But again,
still.
continue to work. Fix what little small mistakes you've had. Just get ready for next week.
They will be on the road against Cash, the Bulldogs, who put up a good effort tonight. So that'll be a team that's ready. Carter back to pass on 1st down. The pass way off there as he tried to looked like Luke Parkhurst, but that one a bit too much of a beeline pass and almost intercepted.
Yeah, very, very well read by the safety for Elgin to kind of slip in there. He recognized that.
Corday Ritchie.
Yep, he recognized that was going to be, a slant pass and slipped in there and went through his hands.
So that brings up 2nd and 10 for the Boomers. About 4:25 remaining in the ball game as Carter trips to the left side, one to the right, as well as the tight end. They go with the short pass, a little screen to Cooper Latal. That one a bit too short though. It'll be 3rd and 10 for the Boomers. Latal is trying to get set up to run that one. Just got to get there a little bit quicker, a little bit higher.
I think I just had a flashback from the OSU game last week.
For me, that's the OU game. Jackson Arnold made that throw, and it was a fumble. By the way, Ely, I'll let you know the Bearcats get it done on homecoming, 66-0 over Cordell. So the Bearcats dominant over at Interline Field yet again. 3rd and 10 for Carter in the gun. Empty set, looking over the middle, and that one a little bit too far. Couldn't tell if that was maybe Latal and he went under the route or if it was to Graft who was coming along the backside of him.
Ely, can you sing the fight song for Moreland? Are you able to?
Okay.
We're asking. That's a fair question.
I probably could still.
Okay. See, didn't need you to sing
gonna, but
we need some entertainment here tonight. Come on. We could have Boomer TV put the camera down.
We could have Boomer karaoke. There you go. As on to punt will be Graft for the Boomers. About 3:05 left in the game. Graft with a low one again. Let it roll. Does Elgin and Mason Bourne right on it to down it as it crosses the 40. It's about the 38. Got a late flag. Yes. That one was kind of in the line of scrimmage area. Before we get to that flag, R5 Custom Embroidery. When you work with R5 Custom Embroidery, you can count on quick, fun, and an enjoyable process with results that consistently exceed the expectations. Chat with their screen printing experts about customized apparel. Visit them 817 Main Street in Woodward or call 580-256-3579. R5 Custom Embroidery, powering the Boomers all season long.
I think it's going to be a flag against Elgin.
So a hold maybe on Elgin on the return. Okay. So Elgin will take over.
They reached up and grabbed one of the Boomer gunners trying to get downfield.
Ah, okay. So that will back him up. Was going to originally have it about the 37 or so. We'll see where it is once they mark it off. Should be around the 26 maybe, 27. It's 2:59 remaining of the game. Elgin leads 63-0. And again, stick around if you want to see the band perform on Boomer TV after game. We'll also try to carry the audio here on Z92 as the Boomer band performing after the game. Elgin performed at the half. As Croft takes over in the pistol. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. A handoff, though, underneath his back. New runner for Elgin on this one. A big pop by the Boomers on the far sideline. Couldn't see who that was, but a good tackle in the open field.
Yeah, I think that may have been Cooper Littall who came in there and made that pop.
And on the carry, I believe that was David Cardozo for Elgin. He gets a gain of about 2. Second and 8 for the Owls. We cross the 2-minute mark to go in the ball game.
The two-minute timeout, is that what they call it in college football?
They can't say warning. You got to say timeout. Yeah. Croft in the pistol. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Man in the backfield behind him, another handoff. This time again to Cardozo. The Boomers all over him in the backfield. Looks like a loss of about 2. Another good job by the Boomer D-line. Levi Harris, I see getting in there. Maybe Bowen Borden as well.
Yeah, I think Reese Durkee may have got the initial contact in on there as well. So, but again, that's what you want to see. You want to see these young guys just continue to work all the way through, not get too down about what the score is.
Here's some of that Boomer band in the background. Got a minute 10 remaining. Oh, excuse me, Elgin.
It's actually the Elgin band.
My bad. Boomer band's probably getting ready.
Yeah, they're down there.
They are.
Ready to line
I'm
up.
goofy. Ignore me. I don't understand the concepts of time, apparently. Because why would they still be playing if they got before? Oh, and on 3rd 10, a high snap over the head of Croft. He'll have to chase in the backfield for Elgin, and Boomer's all over him. As trying to see who got that open field tackle. Looked like maybe Mason Boring flew in there. Oh, Durkin. Durkin.
Yeah, it was
another one.
Reese, it looks like. And I do want to say that because I was thinking this earlier, I never got it out, but we really struggled through the first 2 games with high snaps. I didn't see a high snap tonight.
Not one.
I think we saw 1 or 2 against Alva tonight. Completely cleaned up, and so again, that's just another one of those things where you're seeing the improvement, you're seeing the growth, despite what the score is saying, and against a team like Elgin, these Boomers are improving. And so it's just a lot to continue to be excited about.
And a 4th and 30 for Elgin, probably more. They're going to let this run all the way down. They do have to snap it one more time. And it looks like timeout taken by the Owls. They were just trying to run the clock max as they could without taking the penalty.
And they're already winding the clock. So they're just going to finish it off.
They're going to call it. So as the ball game, the Owls take it over the Boomers tonight at Boomer Stadium. 63-0. We'll go ahead, step aside for break, come back, give out a Bank Western Oklahoma Player of the Game for the Boomers, and hear some of the band perform. You're listening on Boomer Football on Z92 and Boomer TV.
You tackle an endless to-do list every day. It may seem like a thankless job, but you know better. It's the little things that matter most. That's why you'll appreciate the enduring value of the Michelin Defender tire. Designed for doers like you, Michelin's longest-lasting tire keeps you on the go longer, so you have one less thing to worry about on your next road trip. Stop in today for miles of uncompromised safety and performance. Visit your local Michelin dealer, High Plains Tire, at 2220 Main in Woodward.
Feel safe and secure with Arlo Wireless Outdoor Camera, available at Pioneer. Arlo offers top-notch protection with crystal clear video quality, rain or shine. Monitor your home from anywhere with remote smartphone access, whether you're at home or on the go. Arlo keeps you connected to what matters most. Trust Arlo and Pioneer to keep your home safe and secure. Visit GoPioneer.com to get your Arlo wireless cameras today.
Are you looking for a bank that understands your needs and works as hard as you do? Welcome to Bank of Western Oklahoma, proudly serving our area since 1908, offering free checking with no monthly fees and convenient mobile banking. Whether you're in Cordell, Elk City, Weatherford, Woodward, or any of our 6 locations, we're always nearby. Bank of Western Oklahoma, where the Western Oklahoma spirit is alive and well. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
And back at Boomer Stadium as Elgin takes it over the Boomers 63-0 tonight. And we touched a lot of all ground for that. But as we were getting to, the Bank of Western Oklahoma player of the game tonight for the Boomers, Levi Harris. Reese Turkey for continuing to show that big effort in the second half, especially on the defensive side through all the circumstances for the Boomers. Of course, Bank of Western Oklahoma goes beyond banking no matter where you are. The Bank of Western Oklahoma is always close. Find a location near you at bankofwesternoklahoma.com, powering the Bank of Western Oklahoma player of the game all season long. With that all said, of course, I want to remind you, next week we will be on the road against Cash, the Bulldogs, the long road trip, as it'll be district game number 2 for the Boomers in that one. And we'll see. Cash was pretty feisty tonight. Seemed like against Oak City, so I'm sure they'll bring a good challenge. Of course, the band that you just heard, they're actually going to be performing Tuesday at the Tri-State Music Festival up in Enid. So if you want to check out that Tuesday afternoon, you could certainly do so. And Eric, any closing thoughts here before we sign off for the night?
No, I just, again, we talked about it. I think the Boomers are, despite what the score was, despite what, you would potentially see as just a casual fan, I think the Boomers continue to improve on some things. Again, I'll just remind people that this is a very young team. Most of the names we're calling out on a regular basis are freshmen and sophomores. So with the exception of Case and Boren and some of those guys, but Levi Harris, Reese Durkee,
yeah.
We coached Trip Bates several times in the second half, and we've seen him what he can do at times. So these are young guys that are going to continue to improve. So they can go back, they can look at film, they can look and see what they did well, and prepare to go down to Cash. You got the long trip next week, but hopefully for us the weather is good since we're going to be hanging out on top of the press box.
Yes. Be high atop.
Yes. Hey, beautiful scenery down there.
Oh, it is.
From the top of the press box, you can see the mountains, and so, But again, I just think the Boomers just got to kind of keep their heads up and continue to work and not get too wrapped up in your record and what the score showed tonight.
Definitely. So do want to mention, of course, too, before we get to the thank yous, softball as well. We'll find out their regional pairings Tuesday. We'll talk with Coach Zoffin and crew Wednesday about that as they'll take on regionals. Looks like Thursday, Friday. Looking at some of the seeding, most likely going to be in the Tuttle Regional. We'll see if that shakes out to be true, but compared to how the OSSAA, if I could say it at the end of the night, seeds that out, likely to be in the Tuttle Regional. One thing, Pioneer, of course, one more time. Wade Matthews, State Farm Agent, Just Well Chevrolet, Bank of Western Oklahoma, and High Plains Tire for being your corporate sponsors for the Boomers all season long, and very much appreciate them and all of our other great Boomer partners. Eric, Ely, good job tonight. Appreciate y'all. A lot of fun. We always have up here in the booth. Of course, Jericho Hoppen back at the station. Appreciate her. And if you're wondering kind of what's been up with the Tri-State, K101 still going along with Friday Night Quick Scores. You got the final about 20 minutes or so there with CJ Montgomery and the crew. So catch up all the action over on the Tri-State. With that said, everybody, we'll catch you next Wednesday for the Boomer Coaches Show before we make that road trip to Cash on Friday. You've been listening on Z92.
You've been listening to Woodward Boomer Sports on News Talk Sports Z92. Follow the Boomers all season long on Z92 and Z92online.com. This has been a presentation of Tri-State Media, the Tri-State sports leader.